is Peachy Song. It's too cold, y'all. It's live in the living room on IMITATES Live coming at you right now. Just hang on. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Hey, welcome to our IMITATES Life with me, Tanya Dixon. You know, we got the living room tonight, and as I said just now, the topic's going to be kind of strong, and I'm going to bring the team in just a little bit. Somebody hitting me online here. So, but you know, we're going to get into that in just a few moments. You know how we do. We like to do what's the tea, then I'll bring everybody in for all their topics, and we're going to discuss tonight the whole nine. So I'm going to have to do something with my phone because my phone's going to drive me crazy. But in the meantime, y'all go ahead and check out what's going on with our sponsors tonight. So here we go. It's time to roll. If I can get it. All right, y'all. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. IMITATES Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandyland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Hey, welcome back. You know, it takes me a moment to calm it all down once I get here. It takes a moment for me to bring it all in. But I think that I'm ready to move into this now. So let me go ahead and get the team in line here. And we're going to start talking about how everybody's week was, you know, what everybody else had going on. So let me go ahead and bring in the living room team. See how we can get y'all in here. What's going on, fam? Well, don't everybody do nothing at once. I'm the one that's having the roughness tonight. So I got a chihuahua that won't leave me alone. Oh my God. He scared me that I'm thinking something's wrong, but he will not leave my side. So I don't know what's going on with that. Does he feel bad? I have no idea. So what's going on with y'all tonight?
Glad it's Friday. Oh.
Yeah. What else going on?
I've been working. My days are so mixed up this week. I've been working so hard. I've been up till 8 a.m. at least like 4 days out of this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Working on painting.
Okay. But what's been going on with well, we know that Mike has been in Jamaica. How was Jamaica?
Hey, what's happening? How y'all doing?
How was Jamaica?
Man, it was live, man. You know what I'm saying? Jamaica.
Got that going.
Yeah, man. It was chilling. It was chill, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, any opportunity to break away, get free, man, to reset, relax, reset, and recharge, man, is wonderful, man. So you know what I'm saying? I was able to kind of connect with my folks and get in touch with Mother Earth, you know what I'm saying, and just chill, you know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. How much earth did you get in touch with? I'm just saying.
I'm
trying to be good.
Hey, look at it, man. The sun, man, is that's reviving and refreshing. That was my first time going. I just turned 41, man. So that was my first time going chilling, man. So all I can say is if you haven't been, you need to go. And it's America ain't the only thing, man. It's a lot. There's so much information. It's a whole lot of things that we get left out on, man. It seems like every other country know more about America than we do.
Right. I understand that. We're kind of the last to know, and the reason why we're the last to know because we are here, and unfortunately, some of us get really caught up in material that we don't recognize what's going on even in our own country. Damn sure not the rest of the world. So it's just how that goes. But don't get me on all the philosophical stuff tonight. Rickness, what's been happening with you?
Nothing much. Just grading here and there, getting those juices flowing, juggling the job, the honey-do list and the daddy-do list. It never ends. But I made it.
All right then. All right. I ain't mad at you. Miss Bola, how you doing, Miss Bola?
I'm doing good. I've just been relaxing and studying.
Okay.
Getting in my zone.
Okay. Shannon, you said that you've been really, really tight this week on a lot of things, but it's still been a good week for you?
Yeah, it's been a really good week. I've got a couple of drawings sketched out for the art show that I'm going to start on. I've got at least 90% of the way through this thing. So most of this stuff should be wrapped up by the end of next week, at least. And I've had a couple of job interviews on top of that. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I've had quite a week myself. Right now, I cannot figure out for the life of me what is going on with my dog. I honestly don't get it. If he felt like I did a show on Wednesday, right? And that show was featuring a singer-songwriter, Devontae Thornton. And so we had a great show that night. And so, you could catch it there on YouTube. And I don't know whether because we did the show 2 days ago, that my dog is still saying, this is his show tonight, or he think I ain't supposed to be doing no show tonight, but I have no idea why he is messing with me. He got me a little concerned because he never messes with me like this. And so he got me a little concerned as to what's going on with him. Well, you know what, y'all? I had some things this week that I wanted to look back on when it comes to what's the tea. So we're missing Bernard. Did he fall off? He fell off.
You didn't realize that?
I just realized he's not there. Wait a minute. He's having internet issues. And so that's what I just realized. I said, I'm missing a person who was just there.
I'm gonna get some rabbit ears.
Right. He's restarting his computer now. He said he's restarting his computer, so we'll just go ahead in the meantime and just look at a few things. You all ready to talk a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Bill Cosby. Now, we talked about this last week. We talked about his being released last week, and this is our What's the Tea, here. And my intentions was to have a whole opening for What's the Tea today, but that just didn't work out. So maybe we'll have it next week. But I guess after Felicia Rashad had responded, and he decided that he would speak up himself, because there's also some things with his alma mater, deciding that they didn't want him to speak up, or they wanted him to. I'm sorry, whatever's going on over here is really distracting. I'll just read it to you all. This is from Newsbreak. Bill Cosby's recent unexpected release from prison continues to spark reactions of all kinds. And anyone who thought that Cosby would make an attempt to avoid the public's attention has seen the opposite happen. Though he has stayed silent during his post-release press conference with his legal team, it wasn't long before Cosby got vocal on social media. He had quite a strong reaction to the backlash facing his former co-star, Felicia Rashad, over the tweet celebrating his newfound freedom. And so with that, I mean, just in general, before I go any further into this, what do you all feel that he like him responding, that he had any right to respond? I mean, what do you all feel just before I go any further?
I mean, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he speak from himself? Why wouldn't? Why wouldn't?
Okay.
Why, when it's been put through the system wrongfully, why wouldn't you have anything to say about it? You know, that's just within talking bad about a name. So I'm talking bad about your name and being ridiculed and having to face consequences for something that's not even proven. Yeah, I'll be pissed off. You know what I'm saying? You accuse me of stuff and you have nothing to stand on. So you stand on me. So that's not. I expected him to say something, and he should, like anybody else.
Okay.
So if I heard you correctly,
Right.
if I heard you correctly, you were saying that his alma mater had something to say, right? Is that what you were saying? The fact that old buddy just came out of nowhere, nobody probably knew who the hell he was, and then all of a sudden he comes out and saying he wore a shirt. He wore a shirt with this, that, and the other. Then he was like, I don't know if I've ever met the man. You know damn well you met the man. You got a picture with the man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, at least for that dude, if hopefully I'm on topic, I feel like for that individual who came out of nowhere, no one knew who the fuck you was, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where you come from with all your rhetoric, you know what I mean? Like you were irrelevant. So you used the opportunity to become relevant. Like no one knew who you were. Like, your class president of your fucking class, like when you graduated, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but as far as saying something, you know, like for me, my personal thought is, if people want to speculate, bump their gums, you know what I'm saying, and say stuff about people, say something about somebody, man, you can choose not to respond and let the world wonder. If the world in your business, you can let the world wonder. You can say nothing, which is actually saying something. You know what I mean? Or you can respond, but think about it just like this. When cops respond and they ask for statements, when they're trying to bring somebody up on charges, that's why they tell you remain silent, because they have no case. They're investigating, trying to gain information to put something together. So as long as you say nothing, you give them nothing to go off of, because they're going to corroborate your story with somebody else's story, anybody else's story. So say nothing. And by saying nothing, you're really saying a whole lot. That's just my thoughts.
I got you. That makes sense. Well, let me read this statement to you all, and then you can kind of give me your thoughts from there. This was from, was that, somebody said something? Okay. This was from Cosby himself. He said, Howard University, you must support one's freedom of speech, Ms. Rashad, which is taught or supposed to be taught every day at that renowned law school, which resides on your campus. This mainstream media are insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol. The same media insurrectionists are trying to demolish the Constitution of the United States of America on this Independence Day. No technicality is a violation of one's rights, and we, the people, stand in support of Miss Felicia Rashad. He says something. He says some stuff in that, which makes every bit of sense to me. He said a whole lot in that one statement, and he said some things that people are trying to avoid. He said, let me read this one part again. He said, those same media insurrectionists are trying to, let me go back up. This mainstream media are the insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol. Go ahead, Bill, because most people are afraid to say it. Most people are afraid to say who actually were the ones that stormed the Capitol. They want to blame it on 45's people, and it was not. So thank you, Bill, for saying something with the media, the insurrectionists. It's a little bit more than I thought he would say. And so he was saying basically the same ones are silencing your voice, and that is the truth. They are silencing your voice. So thank you for him, for saying that particular part. I don't know whether we're getting calm here or we're upset over here with my dog, but I don't know what's going on over here. But
that's all he wanted.
Yeah, there's something.
Attention, some attention,
Yeah,
some
that's how it is.
love and affection.
Yeah, because he's never like this with me. He could care less what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
he usually
Like,
sits down. Mm-hmm.
yes, he's usually over there sleeping. I think he was feeling, maybe he's feeling bad and he just needs to be up under, But he gonna get
Mm-hmm.
loaded off in a minute to my mom. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But everybody's so laid back. And I'm trying to get y'all revved up because I want y'all on fire by the time we get to the topic. So we might have
But
to
it looks
visit
like
another
Bernard is
topic.
frozen.
Huh?
Yes.
It looks like Bernard is frozen. Goes in and
Yeah,
out.
I think he is frozen.
So
No,
let me
he's
ask:
not.
is
Those eyes
everybody
moved.
Now
I am
right?
frozen.
Is
No,
everybody
we
still
see you.
recovering from the long weekend?
Maybe that's what it is.
Man,
Yeah, if you like
I
depend
already
on.
told y'all my days and nights are messed up, so I don't know if I'm
Right.
tired or awake anymore.
got the
Bernard, we on another subject.
And then I've been seeing I've been seeing a lot of
Please
people
is
talk
back.
about insomnia too. I've been seeing a lot of
Right.
people talk about their insomnia issues, like you know how like when you look at certain posts or stuff on social media, it seems like everybody kind of dealing with the same stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So, like I guess all this week, insomnia has been a thing for a lot of people. A lot of people been up. A lot of the I think some of y'all mentioned like the numbers 11, 11, 22, 22, 333. I've been seeing a lot of that all week. Of
Same.
a lot of various people having the same type of man. I'm up. It's 3:00 in the morning. Why am I up? And all this other stuff. So.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe with that long weekend, who do the astrology stuff? Where the sun at? Where the moon at? Where Mercury at? Where Venus at?
Where's the moon at? No, usually they say when you get between 3 and 5 a.m., it means that the universe is telling you that you're like,
Uh-oh.
there's something you need to be doing.
Right.
And a lot of people will go, why am I up? Why am I up? And try and go back to sleep instead of like getting up and sitting and thinking and being actually like trying to put into a plan, like a process of how to get from, where they are now to where they want to be. It's a calling number. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. And 1111 is like, that's one of the angel numbers. And that's like the biggest one on the map. If you continue seeing that, you really need to start thinking about there's a change coming. There's a change coming in your life. And there's an opportunity coming. And there's something that you need to be
Which
listening
numbers?
to. 11.
Which numbers? Oh, okay. I see that sometimes.
Yeah.
Not as much as
Yeah.
I used to. Okay.
I caught a
My
lot of
numbers-
11 through 1113, like for the past
Okay.
4 or 5 days.
I'm still 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 34. Those are mine that I see all the time.
Mine is 3:33. That's the one I wake up at 3:33. 3:33 is what I feel like. Yeah. So hold on, say that again. You said somebody said Shannon just said what was it? 3? No, not 3.
3 to 5.
No. She said where I am now versus where I want to be. How can you say that again?
Yeah, like you need to start making a plan. It's a calling. Like for me personally, when I get up at 3 a.m., it's usually because, or I'm up at 3 a.m., it's usually because I have some idea I need to write down. There's many times I've laid in bed at 3 in the morning and wrote entire, poems in my head. And I never went down and wrote them down. Lord, wrote them down. But, my bad. But it's like entire entire poems, like 3 stanzas, like in my head. But or like I have an idea for a TikTok, or I have an idea for a new painting, or I know that there's something I need to be working on. It's just like 3 to 5 a.m. It's like a calling. It's just there's a change coming to your life, and you need to start preparing for the process.
Okay.
Like in the Bible.
I went through a process.
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh no, I was going to say I went through a process for a while. I was a 333. I was a 222 for a while, and then I went to a 333 for a while, and then I'm ascending and descending now.
Like in the days of Jacob, this is when Jacob wrestled with the angel, and
Mm,
his name got
Mhm.
changed.
okay.
Name selection. And it says it's a period where an angel, the breaking of the day, it's called the breaking of the day. The breaking of
Yeah.
the day brings in bursts a lot of things because it's quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
And
They
it's like
say
a
3:33
personalized
is angel
message.
hours.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's what's up. Hey, let me ask this. I in a business sense, I heard this and I can't remember where I heard it from. So a lot of y'all that's out there that actually do business, they say a lot of the business deals are made between like 2 and 5 a.m. or something like that.
Mm.
Or like the ideas or something like that. Anybody ever heard that?
I've heard that like ideas come to you at that
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
ideas.
Ideas
If you're
come.
making business deals between 2 and 5 a.m., you looking a little
Yeah, the
sketchy.
strip club.
But then
But
another
Tanya,
thing
they say a lot of business deals are made at
it
the
happened
strip
between
club.
yeah, and then one more
Yeah,
question about
I'm in
that.
entertainment.
I'm trying to get educated, so I'm asking. They say like something within the brain, like when you first wake up, like your like chemicals or something, like you have a
Mhm.
short period of time, like 3 to 8 minutes to like
You're
if you're gonna
open.
remember your dream, like if you're gonna remember your dream, like if you're gonna write
Yeah.
it down or do anything, you got about 3 to 8 minutes to get it out. Because once that passes, that's when people say they can't remember. Anybody ever heard
Well, I
that?
mean, that's like depending. It depends on if you train yourself to remember your dreams or not. Like I
Um,
used to go through and like write them down, but now I can pull three or if they're like extremely meaningful, I can pull 3 or 4 dreams like out just like that
yeah.
and tell you what happened. Like I could like my dreams are so detailed, I could draw that. I could
Wow.
draw that.
Wow.
Y'all want to know
Yeah.
about my dream
Hey,
this week? Y'all want to know?
Uh-oh.
I had a
Okay,
dream the other day.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, this I was I told Mike about this. Mike told me I've been smoking that. Yes,
I did.
but no.
I told her, you need to quit smoking that shit. That's what I told her.
Okay,
Smoking
what
that
happened
shit.
is I don't know why some reason I had a tube, let's say like my lipstick or something. I had a tube like this, and I kept carrying around. I remember in the dream, I kept having this tube with me. Inside the tube, I knew there was a worm in there. I knew there was a worm in the tube. So one time I was talking to this man and he was just chatting me up. He was talking so hard. And I remember I took the tube off or it opened or something and the worm
Yeah.
fell out. And the worm got like it turned into a huge snake. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger, like just huge, like a snake.
mm,
And so then the snake turned into a cat. And then I called my old neighbor because she likes cats, and her cat passed on. So I called her and said, "Do you want a cat?" And she said, "Yes." I took the cat to her, so she wanted the cat. So then I left, and the cat turned into a person, and the person was with me all of a sudden again, and I was having a party, like a coming out type party for the snake cat person. And then I woke up.
you're probably dealing with somebody nowadays.
Okay.
You
It's,
don't know that you're carrying them around.
Like so the morphing
wow.
of the animal suggests that your life's been changing and the animals are clues to like what these changes are. So like the snake is representation of someone toxic and the fact that it grew and grew and grew and grew means that they became a bigger part of your life. Like
Mm.
they overcame you. They became bigger than you,
Mm.
right? So hold
Wow.
on, I gotta find them.
Hmm.
And then it
What
morphs
color
into
was the
a cat.
cat?
Okay,
What
cat.
color was the cat?
The cat to me, I think it represented her old cat, which was like an orange cat.
Look up the what the mean. See with when you do dream interpretation, a
Hmm.
lot of times like we are talking about dreams, we remember things and it's not until somebody says something that other things get pointed out. So you as a person who interprets dream, they tell you what certain symbols mean, but then you dig inside of you to figure out what that dream means to you. Because a certain dream I may interpret it some way, but in reality, you had it, so you know the fine details. A lot of times, because I know when I talk to people about their dreams, a lot of times they'll leave a lot of stuff out.
Mhm.
So I'll start saying, well, I know this means this, or I'll just read them, and then I said, well, did this happen? And they go, yeah, and it's a very important detail, but you may not see it. As
Right.
that's why I asked you, what color is a cat?
Yeah.
Because
Yes, exactly.
colors
That was
mean a lot of
Yeah.
have a different meanings to know what the cat represents.
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought that my dream would be that something that I, would bring here, but that was just so profound why that
Hmm.
stuck with me this week. And then just 2 days before that, I was outside, and there was this black snake in the grass, and he was there
I
looking at
remember.
me.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that snake.
You better
Yes,
leave it. Hey, you better put that shit down and leave, quit smoking that stuff.
Listen,
Oh,
dreams
you
mean
don't,
a lot though. Like even like
Michael,
the
you don't
basic
remember your
symbolism.
dreams?
So, I'm a scatterbrain, and my mind goes like 100 miles an hour every day, all day, and then I don't sleep really. So when
Hmm.
I do sleep, I have vivid dreams, man. My shit be so real. If I get shot, I wake up and I have that
Yes.
sensation where I got shot at or something like that.
Really?
So um and then so when I wake up, like and so that's why I asked about that what is it, like 3 to 8 minutes or however
Hmm.
long that time period
Yeah.
is, because I have that dream and I have every intention on trying to get that down in my notepad. But then my morning routine will kick in, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I was supposed to do this, and then it's
You'll forget.
gone.
You
I
need
know that
See,
I
and
have.
a lot of
to have a
people
book by your
ignore.
bed.
I use my phone. I have my phone, and I got my notepad. 'Cause that's where I do all of my stuff at. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's how your
Mhm.
morning routine kicks in is with your phone. So keep a book because
Right.
that's
You
like
Okay.
go
a
through
different
them.
thought process.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of people ignore their dreams, but your dreams tell a lot
They
about
do.
your life, what's about to happen,
Yeah.
what
Man.
you need to get
right.
rid of.
So I know.
And
I,
hmm,
I just know in my
I
family,
just like,
man. Like I think, like I haven't really looked into. I mean, I've done the reading and the kind of like
hmm,
the background on it, but like there's a lot of number one, I'm a Cancer, so I'm very intuitive. But like my family has a lot of sensory projection. I don't know if I'm using the right term. I
hmm,
don't know if it's precog or whatever, but like you know, my mama have a dream, she'll see something or she'll speak on something, and then shortly thereafter,
it
or
happens.
it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I have deja vu all of the
All the
time.
time.
Like I like all of the time. And I'm like, yo, I've been here. So my thing, and anybody notice this about deja vu? The moment you speak on it, whatever it was supposed to be is now altered. It doesn't happen anymore.
Mm.
Like, so for me, my deja vus, if I don't say nothing, it'll play out just like it's supposed to. But the moment I be like, oh man, I done seen this
Yeah.
before, it alters.
Yeah.
It doesn't play out the way it's supposed to play out. So
Yeah.
See, I'm
um,
I'm opposite. See, I've since childhood, I've been one. I've lived my life based on my dreams
mm,
because my dreams always tell me what's about to happen. My
yeah,
visions tell me, so I
right.
know how to fix. I fixed my life about around my
Based off of,
dreams.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So,
that's cool.
but at the same time, you have to be careful, like you said. Sometimes, I may interpret things wrong. That's why when Tanya was saying, I said, even though I can tell you what symbols mean, but I learned it's always best to let that person interpret the dream themselves, because my interpretation may be different than what she experiencing, because the parts of her dreams she doesn't even think that's important that become very important in
Yeah,
the
but even
dream.
like even the basic analysis gives them like enough of guidance. You know what I mean? I have
Hmm.
people come to me like in my people know that I read dream on my Facebook all the time. So I have people that come in and ask me, hey, can you tell me what this dream means? And they don't have to tell me a whole lot, like it's just Like one of my friends just told me about this dream that he has about this castle that he goes to, and it's has like all these treasures in it, and it has like these artworks that he used to work on because he's an artist too, and it has like people that he hasn't seen in a really long time, and sometimes there's this old man that's guiding the boat, and sometimes there isn't. Like I don't need to know what color the mountains are in the background or something, but it's like that basic info tells me enough that this place is just a place that he goes to when he's feeling like, he's not as inspired as he should be. So he keeps all of his treasures, all of these, people that he has loved or has cared for, these paintings that he's done in the past, and things that are seen as treasures, to like re-energize himself. Because he tells me, like, when he wakes up from this dream, he usually feels more focused, more re-energized, and more inspired to go complete whatever project he was completing. And I was like, yeah, that really just sounds like a place that you've made in, maybe not in your mind. If it feels real enough, who's to say it's not in a, another dimension or something,
Hold on, what was that voice? Oh, go ahead.
Dimension.
Yeah. A long time ago, when I used to have like bad dreams when I used to grow up, I had an auntie. She was very wise, Aunt Lola, and she would actually have me while I'm dreaming. She taught me a way to like get into your dream, especially if you like nightmaring. And you go into your dream and you change your dream. You can slay the dragon, whatever's going on there. So our dreams, we can still be, although it's on a subconscious level, you can still be active in your dream, literally, especially if it's something that you fight. Because I used to have a dream a long time ago when I used to be in like martial arts, and I was always dreaming about fighting this one dude. This dude had like muscles. He was like a 12th degree black belt. I could just never beat this guy. And we was just battling. But that was all about, I was always in fight mode. I was always in fight mode back in those days. And I was ready to drop at it. I didn't care how big you were, how small you were. If you got in the ring with me, it got popping like popcorn. On the other side, I had to watch also what I was having another dream that I was battling all the time, but it had a lot to do with what I was watching before I went to
sleep.
Yeah.
I used to watch Star Trek a lot of times. And, we always going out there and fighting these aliens and going where no one's gone before and all that stuff. And I'm fighting all these aliens and stuff. And you know what? I stopped watching Star Trek before I went to sleep, and I had those dreams no more. So it's very careful. And also people have to be careful about going to sleep with music and the news and stuff like that.
What you sleep with,
your subconscious stays awake, and subliminal, those things are going direct to your brain, and there's no filter because your active mind can't filter it nobody, and it's going straight to your brain. It's like being hypnotized, and people projecting stuff into your conscious.
That's why they call it a program.
Your subconscious does not know reality. It doesn't know what's reality and what's fake. So
Inception. Watch that movie Inception.
Yeah.
Watch that movie Inception.
There's certain movies I will not watch. Certain music I do not listen to because I know it penetrates my brain.
And there's certain things I can't do before I go to bed.
Right. And in fact, you should have a quiet time. You should take literally like 15, 30 minutes and shut down everything before you go to bed. But many people, they watching TV, they going to sleep while they watching TV. That's a no-no. Really, it's because you don't know what they putting in your head. You wake up in the morning, you want to buy something that you shouldn't even buy.
Well, that's what you do with advertisement. It hits the subconscious.
Right. But they say there's a point in time, like even though you sleep, that like you can, like when people do the binaural type of listening before they go to sleep, right?
That's what I do.
So they say that there's a certain time where your brain, or there's something that happens where the messages that enter your brain.
Delta wave. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. That's the best time to retain information. I know for me, based off of what Bernard was saying, you know how they say, like if you die in your sleep, you ain't gonna wake up or something like that. It's been times where I've been falling and they say you always wake up before you hit the ground. I done hit that motherfucker. Like I done hit the ground, right?
Michael, you special.
But
That's different.
But I think because I've been told or that I know that if I hit the ground, I'm gonna die. Anytime I hit the ground, when he says you can control it, I always turn in like into a RoboCop or the Incredible Hulk or Superman or something that will keep me alive so that I don't die. And it's like, so is that? I'm asking now, is that me knowing that, man, if I die in my dream, I ain't waking up. I ain't trying to be like that.
So we wake ourselves up because it's a fear, like it's a fear of falling. You don't have that fear. So you allow yourself to hit the ground because you don't fear that.
Right. But I turn into something.
But you don't fear that hit. That's the whole thing. Like that's why we wake ourselves up because we fear that hit. Like you hitting the ground shows you don't fear that hit. You can just
turn into somebody. What about those dreams? What about the dreams when you're going real fast? Like you go to sleep. Okay, when you first lay down, it's like you're going fast. It's reckless. You're doing a bunch of reckless stuff when you first lay down. And I have to stop myself. I have to stop and wake up because I'm moving too fast. I'm doing too many things.
Yeah, Tanya, knowing the life you have.
Violent.
Tanya, the life you have, you're going in a lot of directions.
Yeah.
But you don't have time to quiet down.
Right.
That's why I say you can. A dream does interpreting dreams has to do with the person. When you just interpret dreams like that and not know the background of the person, it plays a lot of influence. It has a lot. Like you said, running, but because I know your life and how you always got things going.
Right.
It impacts you. Well, if I was running, I'd be like, okay, God, what am I running from?
Right. That's why it's so important to control the narrative before you go to sleep.
I heard that.
You gotta quiet it down. Like the most important times. There's too much important times in your day. The first hour when you wake up, and that last hour before you go to sleep. If you control those 2 points of time right there, then you're amazed how you'll be amazed. It works all across the board. Some people say, pray when you wake up in the morning. A lot of people say pray before you go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And other people say meditate when you wake up in the morning, and meditate you be asleep. The thing
what is Michael doing?
You're typing into your mind. He don't know. He don't know.
MC Hammer. No, Bernard is on point. But MC Hammer, we got to pray just to make it today. That's why we pray. Pray. Come on, pray. I was just agreeing with you.
I was a question about dreams. And
I was agreeing with Bernard because he said we have to pray in those first 2 hours. Because Bernard, you said something right just now that it's crazy because I can't remember where I heard it, but I heard controlling the narrative this week based off of the information that I was sharing with somebody. They came. I talked to so many people. I want to give the person the credit that said it. I just can't remember who the hell said it. But anyway,
it's me.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay, yeah, somebody was telling me controlling narrative. Yeah, it was Tanya. So she was saying like control the narrative because like, man, I've been dealing with some personal shit this week, man. And it's like life has been hell. You know what I mean? Even though, you know what I'm saying, just went out for, relaxation and, resetting and recharging.
But Michael, a lot of us, we let life control us instead of us controlling life.
But y'all, a lot of y'all are saying, I'm sorry, Bola. A lot of y'all are saying right now tonight, it's kind of spooky. But a lot of y'all, I've heard each one of y'all say something that I've heard this week already, man. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all helping me. But this is weird. Like I'm literally getting goosebumps.
You better listen.
Yeah, a lot of things come into like 2s and 3s and stuff, that confirmation. So when you get a confirmation on something that is got your attention, that's a lesson to learn right there.
Pay attention.
And that's in the universe or God or religion, whatever you believe in, is trying to tell you something. It's literally trying to instruct you the way you should go. And you gotta, if you tap into it, life would be great. If you ignore it, then you have to learn that lesson
all over again.
You stay stuck.
Right. Until you learn how to overcome an obstacle, that obstacle will keep. Yeah.
Okay, before we move forward, I have one more thing about dreams. Look at one more question. Now, sometimes I can go to sleep, and I know that there's beings in the room, and Shannon, you can tap into this. There's beings in the room, and I know there was one night I was laying down, and it was just loud, chatter, and then I started to wake up and say, "Would y'all please hush?" And I really
sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you gotta be like, yo.
Yeah, because the room was quiet. There was nothing on. But there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of chatter. And I was like, they doing too much. Y'all doing too much. I can't sleep.
It sounds like you're
what's happening there is you're tuning into multiple frequencies there's all kinds of frequencies all over us all the time. There's thousands of thoughts that come into your mind all the time. Right. What you have to do is you have to filter through the chatter sometimes and just shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever you focus on will grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you ignore will dissipate. So you have those thoughts. Like I have negative thoughts come to my head, but I used to say, I learned a long time ago, I could just say cancel, and they'll go away. You know, that was one that I used to say cancel. So now those I got a filter so strong built up that those negative thoughts don't come anymore. You know, because I
don't think she's saying like they were negative thoughts. It's more just like she's just hearing like so much noise around her, and it's like.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, you can't do everything. You're not built to like focus on 1,000 thoughts, right?
Right.
You gotta learn how to shut it down and filter. And like she said, shut it out. Mentally, you can say, shut it out.
Right.
Yeah.
See, like I know when I was younger, for years, I would just hear voices. A lot of times I would hear people call my name before they actually call it. I would see things before it happened. But because I didn't know, and depending on what religion or what you believe, there is something in there that teaches you how to control.
Right.
How to control your thoughts, how to push out those things that you don't need, and only stay in tune to what you do need. And that's basically what life is all about. Because there are a lot of frequencies going on, and it's what you're in tune and what you want to be in tune with.
Right. So let me ask this question, because I keep hearing a lot of things about frequencies. I'm just not getting into it. I just started recently learning about the whole binaural thing, right? The different what you call it, when you said beta or data waves, what you said
Delta.
I said data. Let me get out my Greek stuff. But no, but I've been hearing that, and I'm just not getting into that. And apparently this stuff is legit, and this stuff is real, man. Like these waves and these frequencies that actually can either help you heal, help you mentally, help you focus, and everything else, man. So,
but think about it this way, Michael. What is the sun? The sun is full of what it gives off what energy?
Right, energy, yeah.
What does the plants do? They give off
oxygen.
They do. So that's why they tell you eating plants, because that's natural energy. So the sun fuels the plants does, photosynthesis and all that stuff. And then the whole, hierarchy of all that, then the animals.
We're made of dirt.
Right,
We are made of dirt. What are we actually, that's energy in the dirt.
Right.
The earth has energy. Everything about us has energy, and there's a certain energy different entities have to be at to maintain a healthy balance.
Right. So energy, frequency and energy are the same? I'm asking for education.
To me, I would say energy is
they're not the same.
Emotion.
One
how
is a frequency is when it goes up and down, and it's literally when you're in a higher frequency, you can receive higher impressions and higher learning. When you're in a lower frequency, you learn like you're on like survival mode.
So let me ask you,
but let me ask you this, Bernard. Like you said, higher frequency, the more energy you have, the more you're at a place of balance, the more your mind you're able to.
It's more the intensity of that frequency.
Okay,
so I feel like energy is more personalized.
Huh?
I feel like energy is more personalized, and frequency is more like we can all vibrate at it's shared. Like we can all vibrate at this frequency.
Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up.
Well, I'm glad somebody you just said it, because I was about to ask next. Are frequencies and vibrations the same thing, or are they related? Because you know how we say we can come in a room and you can feel the energy, right? You know how we say that, oh, you can feel the energy, and then people be like, oh, I just got a bad vibe. This is why I asked the question, are they similar? Because you can feel someone's energy, and then you can feel someone's vibe. I've never heard anyone say, I feel the frequency coming from somebody. So this is why I'm asking. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can sense it.
It could be that some people don't understand when frequency is set. They may not understand that just in general.
I mean, vibration and frequency is the same thing. Vibration and frequency is the same thing.
Hey, I just got some input, people. I just got some input. Frequency comes my cousin, I gotta give credit. He said frequencies come from here and vibes come from here.
Makes sense.
I don't know.
You know, they say the heart has its own brain. I've read in a couple of places, scientists are saying the heart has its own brain. That the heart thinks its own way, not just the mind.
Is that why there's a struggle between mind and heart when it comes to certain things? Oh, the two are not vibing.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
I actually had
somewhere else.
Well, I had some other things that I was going to talk about.
Sorry,
but I'm saying this: the dreams and the frequency was a little bit more interesting because I was just recapping on some things with Bill Cosby, recapping on some things with Monique, and some things of that nature. And so to me, it was a little bit more interesting to stay on. That's why I let it just roll. Because
it's cool. Like I said, man, I don't know. I know a lot about a little bit about a lot, but I don't know everything. So any information, any gems, jewels, knowledge that I can.
Let me break it down for you. See, frequency is the definition. The frequency is the number of occurrences of a repeating event per unit of time. It is also occasionally referred as a temporal frequency to emphasize the contrast to spatial frequency and ordinary frequency to emphasize the contrast to an angular frequency. So when you're dealing with frequency, you're also dealing with like time. When you speed things up and I'm going real fast, that's moving at a high frequency too. My motion. But if I slow it down,
you're at a lower.
So that's a lower frequency. You see what I'm saying?
In the high frequency.
Right.
So he says that, and I got to make sure I ain't saying the wrong thing. I get that because in the military we do a lot of frequency stuff, so it makes sense. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to say nothing I ain't supposed to. But we deal with a lot of frequency stuff. In the definition he just gave, and I don't know why the hell I didn't pick up Google. But the definition he just gave made what I deal with in the military make more sense. So what he's saying as far as human beings having these things, it does make sense because the average entity doesn't look at frequency vibrations as a what do you say, a space or a point in time,
right?
And they don't look at it like this because we all, like, some of us know that time is a construct. You know what I mean? and other things. But anyway, I don't want to.
It's going to be a construct.
Thank y'all for the education. I'll do my own research. But thank y'all for giving me a starting point.
It's a construct that's not going to be around soon, so I'll add that. You know,
I'm very appreciative. I'm very appreciative of the information that I learned today. I'm about to get some books, baby. Thank you.
But while we're talking about frequencies and all kinds of stuff, one more thing before we go into the actual topic tonight. What about this heat wave that's going on out west? I know a lot of y'all are Texas, and then we have Tennessee, and then we have myself in Georgia, Michael's up in New Jersey. We're kind of different places, but no one is in the Northwest or anything. And what they're saying is they have a heat wave in Oregon and Washington State that the death toll is really climbing. It's up to nearly 200 people. And California is urging their residents to conserve water and electricity. Anybody heard about this particular heat wave and what's going on in Tejas right now with the heat?
Heat wave!
We're gonna be here. We were born to this. I believe that we were born on fire. So damn hot.
I'm saying Texans are how hot? Not
He
how
said he
hot
believed
is the
in
heat
the
wave,
fire.
and I apologize for being disrespectful.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I know some places down here, there are very few and far between that don't have air conditioning because it's damn near illegal not to have air conditioning. So I'm only concerned with the idea that maybe it's not mandatory to have air conditioning in places, a little bit further north than Texas because it's not really that hot there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's
man,
I'm trying not to be disrespectful. I'm trying really. I'm
gonna tell y'all right now.
Disrespectful at all.
I done been down close to the equator in Djibouti, Africa. You know what I'm saying? Where it gets to 120, 130 degrees, and that's some hot shit there. I'm gonna tell you that now.
No AC.
Right.
No AC.
Man, look. So I just the way I am and the way I'm raised. I think that whatever the hell is going on is not natural. This is interference from human beings.
Right.
Well, it's actually not been hot here. Not too bad. It's been
I think we have to look at the totality of the Earth. A lot of times we're experiencing stuff that we don't know the total cycle of the Earth. The Earth has been around for millions and millions of years.
Right.
We know if it has, because we know from historical findings and stuff that there was an ice age. Right. We know from historical findings that there was a time where a good portion of the Earth was flooded. Those are things that we can back up from history. So we don't know what this time of spatial, what this Earth's supposed to do, because we haven't been through all the cycles of the Earth yet. So we're still going through cycles right now. I lived in hot areas. I love the hot area. I feel my power when I'm in warm areas.
The sun is natural energy. The sun is natural energy.
I lived in the Philippines for three years. It was two types of weather: hot and dry, and hot and wet. Okay, so also for melanated people, you're actually getting your vitamin D from energy, and also your hair. When you had our afros, you're also receiving stuff literally from the sun, feeling energy. For melanated people and people with more hair, some of the hot weather is better for you overall for your physical body. Yeah. But on the other hand, on a safety precaution, you need to drink a lot of water, all the time.
I will say that I agree with that. I agree with that just from the revive. I'm telling you, man, that's. Man, that sun, man, that sun down there, man, and just being, I don't know, just maybe it's somewhere else. I had a lot of sun, and I don't know if it affects your health or not, but I felt better.
Well,
right, I felt 10 times better. So when I come back, and I'm gonna tell you now, the way I was eating over there and everything else, and the sun and the energy and the vibe and just the mood, I came back here. and I had been eating food that has not been tainted. I came back here, my dumb ass went to Taco Bell, and y'all already know how that went. You know,
Taco Bell.
you know what I'm saying? So, and then the whole I don't know, but I agree that is what the man is saying is true.
Well, let's go and hit that chat. Let's go. Oh, go ahead, Rick, and then we'll hit the chat before we go to change the subject.
Real quick, what we're wearing is these biomechanical suits. Just look at it as an organic solar power or solar panels. Our whole body's just like, are you felt, Michael, when you went?
Man, tell you, man.
Felt invigorated?
Yeah.
And that actually will feed your frequencies. That will enhance your frequencies because you're getting the natural amount of frequencies and accompanying that with untainted food. So it only makes sense for your vibrations to reach higher. You're more aware, but then you start feeding yourself in a certain surrounding and then certain foods, and it brings it back to, I want to say, some form of imbalance. Yeah, that sun, that's why it's been worshipped. That's why the sun is the source, it's the power for all beings. We have this, our skin exposed to the sun to a certain extent for most part of the day, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Because these are solar panels. You are wearing solar panels. It's very important.
Okay. All right, let's go hit the chat real quick, Shannon or Mike.
We got deep. I'm sorry.
Y'all ridiculous.
Man, I love the information flow, man. I feel like all of y'all got a lot of. I'm sorry, Tanya. I'm so sorry, but I'm on a vibe right now, man. I feel like vibe. I just feel like, man, y'all gave me some information, some jewels and gems, man. Y'all gave me a starting point, to kind of go do some more stuff, man. I love that shit. So I appreciate y'all, man. I do. I'm look,
Not
man.
a problem.
Yes.
Okay, what's happening in the chat, and then we're gonna go on and change into the main subject for tonight.
So Veronica says she sees 235 all the time, and Bridget says I guess when we're talking about dream interpreting, she said I do the same, related to deja vu and prophetic dreams, and when we're talking about the heat and stuff like that. Dr. Cross says living it in Los Angeles, same as always. It's July. And Brother-in-law Jacob says the ocean breeze keeps it cool though. And Dr. Cross said we know it's pollution. And Bola said pollution, right?
So that means that there's people out there that believe that the ecosystem, what is it? What the hell is that thing? Mm-hmm. The green zone. What is it? The thing that they talk about that needs to be protected.
Oh, the ozone layer.
Ozone.
There we go. Ozone layer. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, ozone.
I could get into more about that because I know that we're going to experience earth change and tectonic plates coming together. The words finally came to me. I was trying to think of that for days. The tectonic plates on the planet are coming together. And when that happens every so many years, what it does is brings in a change of climate. So places that are normally warm become cold and cold becomes warm. And we're going to lose some coastlines. Again, it happens every, certain number of years. This planet is going to take a change again. Now, there's different types of rumors because if you study this, off the coast of California, there's 2 more coastlines out there. Mm-hmm. And over the years, they have gone underwater. And there is different rumors and things that are being said.
California is going to slowly fade off and all this other stuff.
And then they're saying that also Atlantis might come back up again, which is down below the United States, Florida, and all that. They're saying it's going to come back up. And I know, Shannon, we were talking about that because of the mermaids. And incidentally, I have to show you all.
That's a real thing. That people
I will show you all in the after show. I can't show you during the show, but in the after show, I will show you a mermaid that was sitting up on the land. And they took video of this mermaid. Mermaids are real for those of you out there who do not believe.
I'm down for it. Let's release the information about UFOs. It's only a matter of time.
All I'm gonna tell y'all is whatever the hell's going on with this weather, Thanos done snapped his goddamn finger. That's what happened.
Who snapped his finger?
Who snapped their finger?
Oh Lord, y'all don't watch Marvel comics. I'm sorry, y'all ain't watch.
I know what
Y'all ain't watch the Avengers, Thanos snapping his
Oh,
fingers.
okay, I know. I think I know who you're
man.
talking about.
Y'all
I
left me
today.
hanging, man.
Calm down. Bring it down a notch.
Man, where the chat at? I know the people in the chat know what the hell I'm talking about. Come on, man.
No, no.
Let's go ahead and get into our
Tracy's
topic.
laughing at you.
You're gonna have to get an interpreter. You're gonna have to have like captions on his stuff. You know.
You know, we started off like really, really slow tonight. So one thing that I did not do, and since we're going into the actual living room, let's go ahead and open up the living room. It's official opening to the living room out there. You know, we were doing what's the tea just now. So now we're going to talk about the topic. Now, this particular topic, Bernard came up with part of it where he says, are men too soft? And I said, wait a minute, let's go ahead and bring in something that we talked about a little bit before when talking about the independent woman. Are women too rough? So that is the topic for tonight. Are men too soft? And women too rough.
So you said Bernard gave you the topic, right?
Right.
So,
go ahead.
Give us it was a collaboration.
Because if
but
you
give me your side on the men too soft portion, and then we can bring in the other side. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think men are too soft. I think men have been put in this position where they're told not to cry, not to cry, not to cry. Like, I can't tell you how many households I've been in, and a little boy gets smacked because he's tearing up about something, and his family's telling him not to cry. You know, I think we have shamed men for having emotions for too many years. And when they start showing emotions, we label them as soft. And that's my stance on it. Okay. That's just where I'm at.
There's a lack of balance with that. Knowing when to check, like myself, knowing when to check, all right, you're crying a bit too much. This has nothing to do with your emotions. You messed up, you get in check, suck it up. If you wasn't to do what you did, you need to take what's given to you. Now, there's a fine line with that as far as, the crying and whatnot. I get it. I was a kid before, I was a young man too, but that's when that masculinity that's actually been downplayed and labeled as freely as toxic masculinity. But we're not even going to talk about the feminine toxic masculinity, where we dare approach the topic of feminine toxicity. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important to understand, make sure they have an understanding when they, as far as young men, when it is okay to cry, but not for too long, because as a man, you have to be a man. You do have to take that and suck it up, deal with it, and move on. But don't forget, you have feelings. You have feelings too.
So Rick, you know me and you go back. Hold on. Let me holler Rick real quick. So, because girl, he said something, and I love Rick to death, but this is just a little growth in me, and I want to give him an opportunity to kind of elaborate. So Rick, we go back like, you know what I'm saying? We go since knee hopper to a grasshopper. You know what I mean? Knee high to a grasshopper.
There you go. Knee hopper to a grasshopper. All right, now.
Right. So when you say that, and keep in mind, I'm just now getting in touch with this within the last 5 years that we live inside a man box. So from what I'm hearing, and I'm asking this for clarity, you're saying there's a time limit on how long we learn to express ourselves when it comes to crying?
Not a time limit in terms of learning. There's never a time limit on learning. But in terms of in terms of crying, the act of crying itself, as you're growing up, there's different types of pains that, you should be able to just, let it out, let that shit out.
Right.
But to continuously cry to the point where
To dwell and live in it is what you're saying?
exactly. To stay
Okay.
No, that's when Pop State. That's when Gibson. That's
okay.
when, in terms.
So that should be applied to anybody, though. That should be applied to anybody. Like my
But,
mom told
the
me,
thing is,
you get
but
24 hours to be sad, baby, and that's it.
Hey, hold on, because I think everybody trying to talk at the same time. So can we do this? And I'm not trying to take over the show, but Bernard, I don't think you ever really got a chance to explain what you meant by when you made the topic of conversation. So can we go there, and then we can probably tap into what Shannon is saying and what Rick was saying.
Right. This is the thing is they agree a balance, but as men, while women were raising the kids and bringing up the kids, we were out there. We're at war. We're out there hunting, all kinds of thickets and brush and stuff. We ain't got time to cry right then. If you crying, you wasting your time right there. That ain't the time you stump your toe and we're trying to catch this antelope over here. Look, get your butt up and let the chase. We ain't got time.
Right.
Now we at war right now. So when we at war, and when you're also as a man, you also bring leadership to your household. When things falling apart, they looking forward towards you for leadership, and you boo-hooing and stuff. Come on now, it ain't the time. It ain't the time. Like I said, my son wrestled, and my son in a wrestling match, and he's crying about dude, you got another match to fight. We ain't got time to cry right now. It's time to get with it. Now on the other end, also. If you have something like a death in the family, that's a whole different situation. You lost a loved one, or if you lost out in a relationship, or you lost a job, you can say like, oh man, I messed up or whatever. And that's the time to get into yourself, because you gotta feel the pain sometime before you can move forward. Okay. Once you feel that pain, then you got to come back to your masculinity part of your mind, get it gone, because you can't stay there at all. You can't stay there. Plus, if you're a father, they're looking forward towards leadership. Now, if you're a single man, you can cry and stay in your household, and you can stay and cry all you want to. Ain't nobody looking at you, okay? But if you're a father like I am, or you have other people looking for you for leadership, then there's no time to be like crying. It's a time to be sensitive to other people, and you might crack a tear, but at the end of the day, you got to get it done. Yeah. I think sometimes when we look at this toxic masculinity, it's not toxic, it's just wrong. It's not toxic masculinity, it's just wrong. It's wrong to tell a woman that's wrong. That's not communicated. That's being a dictator.
One more time.
Yeah, because you came in broken. Say it again, Bernard. You came in broken a little bit.
I mean, to me, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. It's wrong way to communicate, and there's a right way to communicate. What you guys do is you want to have all these hashtags and stuff, and you want to look all smart, so you give me these titles and stuff like that. But what's wrong is wrong, and what's right is right. Effective communication is willing to understand the other party and break it down to a point where they can understand where you're coming from. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to do the hard work. We want to be listened to, and we want to be heard, but we don't want to listen to the other party. A lot of misunderstanding between men and women is a failure to properly communicate and to listen. That's why I tell my son, they gave you 2 ears and one mouth. So listen, y'all.
So I will back Bernard up where he says, because I preach this when I'm teaching resiliency, is listen to understand versus listening to respond. Right? But before I go
Right.
any further, I think,
Exactly.
but before I go any further, I think Shannon had something to say at one point, and then Rick had something to finish out.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing is like, that's, first of all, playing off what Bernard said, is like, that's just, teaching like how to distribute like emotional response like effectively. Like, I'm not going to be in the middle of an art show and somebody come up to me and tell me my art isn't worth what I'm telling them it's worth, and then go cry about it. Like, that's not using my emotions in an effective way. But when I get to the car, is it going to probably upset me or something like that? Yeah, I might have a little moment when I'm like by myself. Like, but that's a healthy release of emotion. And I don't think it should be looked down upon when men also have those type of emotions. And I think that's like what we're coming out of, is just accepting the fact that men are allowed to go through those processes. Like, my mom always told me, I'm only allowed 24 hours to be sad, and that's still way too long. And I probably need to get over it within the first like 4. But we allot ourselves like 24 hours just to like be able to work through those emotions and come out in a healthier way, instead of being like, oh, that's it, I need to get over it and move on. You still need to have that ability to be able to process the situation and grow from it, as opposed to just like stuffing it down and like, pushing it out of the way.
Well,
okay, Michael. Well, Rick.
No,
first,
go
and
ahead,
then
Rick. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead, Rick.
it goes like this: how can you heal? How can you heal when you're constantly keeping the wound wet from tears? How can you heal? You did, and also in terms of when you're going through things as a young man, or teaching as a father, like myself, raised 3 boys. They I teach them, I tell them things, make them face the consequences. It's not a matter of being right. It's always a matter of being understood. I've always said that, always stuck by it. I think that I even made that concept up. It's not about being right, because you can be right by your damn self and make it over. There should be a lesson followed up behind teaching them the balance of crying or becoming too emotional. Because when
Rick, sorry to interrupt, but can I say this? Because we say crying. So crying has a negative connotation to it.
Okay, so
no. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm explaining something here. So crying has a negative connotation to it when you associate it with man parts, right? Because we're always taught to be a man, and we're not. Like a lot of, I'll say this, at least from my experience, a lot of Black men are not taught how to process emotions. Right. So when we enlighten ourselves, as Bernard was saying earlier, we learn different things. There is, and I agree, there is a time and place to do this, but we don't get taught how to separate that time. I think we talked about this before, Bernard, as well, on one of the previous shows. And then Rick, I want you to don't forget your thought. But it's one of those things where we don't learn how to do that. But for me, this is why I'm like kind of an advocate for it. For me, I'm the type of motherfucker. Sorry, I'm the type of individual that held everything in for so long. In 2014 was my breaking point, to where I had my breakdown with learning the whole resiliency thing, and then my whole connection with that was me and my son. And I learned that, man, I've been holding shit in for so long,
taking it out,
that it came out at the wrong time, right? Because you'll explode, or you'll become a I can't think of the word. You'll become a fucking bad flame, right? Right.
See, but
so,
to me, what a lot of this has to do with is that media, how we've been grown up with the Cinderella story, that a man will come in and save the day. But if you look at the but if you look at the healthy relationships that last a long time, it's because the woman realizes the man is not there to save the day. You're a partner. So she listens to his feelings. She understands his feelings.
That that.
And at the same time, that man learns and understands the woman's feelings. But this Cinderella story that we're fed as kids, especially girls, that's why men tend to keep their emotions in. Because most of us women, we want a good provider, a good protector, and all this is what we look for in men. Those are the things we look for in men. So here comes a man, and this is what he displays. So it's hard for him to let his feelings out because a lot of times the women don't want to hear it. We say that man is soft, but he's not soft.
And say you want a man with sensitivity, Mr. Transparent. And when someone breaks into your house, it ain't no time to be sensitive. You got to take care of business.
Okay.
I mean, yes, because the man is stronger. He's stronger than the woman, so he'll step in. But at the same time, you have to allow that man to show his vulnerability to his woman, and not,
I'm sorry to cut you off, Bola, but I've been listening to y'all, and I'm cool with what you're saying and everything, but I got to throw some fire in here, some more wood in this fire, because y'all are really just being so nice. So, oh, man, must be understood. But that's cool and everything, but there's some more stuff going on. There are some men out who are soft as hell. There's some men out there who don't want to do what they're supposed to do, whether it be in a relationship or whether it be for themselves. What about that? Because when Bernard brought up the topic, that's where my mind went. Bring that to the table. These soft ass boys out here who don't want to handle what they're supposed to in life, not what a relationship or by themselves. Let's go.
So let's ask this: what's your definition of softness?
Right. When I say a man is soft, a man is soft when he don't take his responsibility, when he don't step up be a dad, when he don't step up to be a good boyfriend, he don't step up to be a good husband. He just let the lady just take over. You gotta be who you are. If you gotta know your leadership role in the dynamics of the culture, then this is how it rolls. This is how you have to do. You have your responsibility to. You don't have to check out because you ain't making enough money. Making enough money don't mean that you can't spend time with your kid.
When I hear someone speaking on a man being soft, I immediately think, oh, he's emotionally soft. I don't think that sounds like a trash person. That doesn't sound like a man. That doesn't sound like a soft man.
No, that sounds like a boy. Person. That sounds like a boy.
That sounds like
because mama does not want.
But still, it's weak.
I'll tell you,
they weren't.
I don't want to be around any man. If this is where my mind goes, and something goes wrong, and he's running faster than me to get away from whatever. If we see something, and he's running faster than me, and I've seen some guys, they don't know how to handle things. I have to be the man in the situation. Of course, they get bounced out. They ain't got no time for you on that.
Hold on. I mean, y'all already know the trash relationships I've had, so
stop the whole program. Stop the whole program. There's no way in hell a woman gonna sit here and tell me she has to be the man. That's not your role, right? And I'm not telling nobody.
I don't have to. I have just had to.
No. Thank you. I have not had or wanted to, but I have had to.
But again, Michael. It goes.
No, you're not gonna convince me.
Listen, Michael.
You're not about to convince me. No, you're not about to convince me.
I'm not trying to convince you. But that goes back to accountability. Women, as a woman, why am I even? If I know I don't like that, you can tell when you meet a guy, when you talk to a guy, you can tell, is he going to be that man you want? There are things you may not know until a long time as time goes on. But you can tell if a man takes care of, an instant. When we were younger, I was going to the clubs. A friend of mine, this guy liked me. I already knew he wasn't my type. My friend said, the guy she wanted to date said, let's go to the Denny's. We get there. Her guy decides he's not paying for nothing, and the guy
not even at Denny's. Get
Yeah,
out.
y'all didn't even go to Cracker Barrel, huh? Y'all went
just
thick.
saying.
This is back in the day. This is back in the day. Dennis
Yo,
did the
this
things
is
to do
after
in
hours.
Austin.
This is after hours back in the day. They
Okay,
had
after
Cracker
hours.
Barrel.
Okay, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad.
And so anyway, so the guy she chose for me, and I'm like, whatever. He's like, you mean he's not gonna pay the bill? I looked at him, I'm like, you ain't got money to pay our bill? He's like, no. And my friend took him. I said, well, you ain't taking them home. I said, why did you
So let
come
me
here
ask
when
this.
you didn't have any money to pay?
Hey, y'all watch this shit started right here. So, I mean, let me ask this: when this happened, was this after when women was asking for equality?
I didn't tell him I was
Ain't nobody asking for
I didn't tell him he
No,
was
hold on,
asking.
because I'm trying to figure out where did the standards
Golly,
be
that
set.
was way back. You talking about the
Well, guess what? Guess what? He was not my type.
Where was the standard set where a man had to pay for food and dinner? And yes,
Okay.
Let me
So
tell
you want me to
Right,
answer
hold on,
that?
right there,
You
right
want me to
Let's
answer
stop.
that?
right there,
Okay,
right
go
there.
Bola.
Hold on,
You Bola, you
You
first.
want me to
Then I
answer
got
that?
something.
Like I said to him, I said at the end of the day,
If a man is asking a woman out, you are asking a woman out. It is your sole fucking duty to handle your business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The whole
Exactly.
fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Serious.
right? Because at the end of the day, when a man approaches a woman, like I say to man, I said, you want to touch on me, right? He said, well, if you want to, you want to kiss on me, right? You want to get the cookie if I give it out, right?
That's
I said,
very
so what do
bold.
I get in return?
I mean, everybody has fucking
So
requirements.
you want some money? Hold on.
Some people
watch this. Ooh,
some
watch
people,
this.
wait
No.
a minute. Some people want to
Okay,
read
hold
it.
on.
Some people want dinner.
Hold on.
Finish.
If he wants to touch you, if he wants to kiss you, if he wants to you basically just said, what are you gonna give me? And then he says money or some food. So you good for Denny's? And you coming up off all of that?
No, I didn't. Did I say I came up off of that? But I never came up off of that. But what is wrong?
Let me introduce you something,
every woman is a prostitute. She's gonna drop them drawers based on what she wants.
Right.
Don't no woman meet a man
Right.
and go out with a man without wanting something in return. I can go out with my friends and eat dinner and pay for my dinner and have fun than to sit up there and listen to a man talk about himself that I'm not even interested in.
She ain't never lied though. She ain't never lied though.
Bernard got it. Hold on, Bernard got something.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be real about it.
You already said it. Let me speak. Some cats sit up here and bullshit.
Okay, guys.
She answered your question.
So she did for her.
But what I'm saying
for her and the type of men that she did.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, let me see. Which one of y'all gonna go first now?
Let me break it down like this. Let me break it down from you.
I'm gonna sit up here and try to
bullshit
and try to play into what a woman wants.
Already made it up in her mind. She's already made up in her mind.
Guys. All the guys are talking at the same time.
She's already made it up. The woman is already made up in her mind.
Hold on, let me designate you all. I'm gonna start with Bernard, and then we're gonna hold on.
Yeah, this is Bernard's topic. This is Bernard's topic.
And then we go to Michael, then we go to Rick. Okay, Bernard, what you got?
I agree. This is Bernard's topic, so
here we go.
Here we go.
Let's talk about something about romance. Let's talk about chivalry. That is the process. Talking about being a gentleman, where you romancing the stone. You feel me? See,
that sounds like somebody trying to get some. That sounds like somebody trying to get some ass to me.
I can't talk if you're talking over me. I can't talk if you're talking over me.
Okay, my bad. I mean you no disrespect. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm trying to be silly, but my bad. I don't mean
to
disrespect.
Have a little decorum here. Let's have a little decorum, okay? I respect what you said. Respect Lockwood. That goes both ways. All right.
Just said
So
that. Yeah.
I mean, there has a chivalry is not dead, and chivalry is still alive to a certain degree. I mean, it's no to get a woman attention. She got your attention by how she look. You get her attention by what you do for her. You see what I'm saying? So there is a reciprocation. Women spend a lot of money just dressing up. A woman, you look at what she wearing, she might have dropped $200 for the hair. The outfit popping, she might have dropped a couple $150, and the shoes, she might be wearing some red bottom. That might be $400. She might be walking around there $1,000 worth of stuff. When
That's
you
cool,
come,
but I'm a natural.
you're
I'm a man that like natural.
You paid $4.99 for a snack at a Denny's.
So, like I said, that sounds like a man is trying to fuck. Like so, that sound like a man is trying to fuck because I like natural women.
Michael.
Now y'all not gonna convince me with that one because I like natural women.
Michael.
A woman ain't gotta wear no $400 shoes to get me. A woman ain't gotta do all that extra shit to get me.
But Michael, that's you. But we're talking about men who are like babies.
Who?
That's the type.
Generalizing men. You're generalizing men altogether. And
no, I'm not generalizing men. I was talking about that particular type of man. Okay, I've met a lot of guys in the club. That's all they wanted. But I've also met a lot of men who were men, who had that conversation, who wanted to. So you have split. You just like you have different women. Like I would say, every woman, she will drop it based on what you're giving it to, what you're giving. Some of my people I know, they'll drop it because you take them out to eat. You take them out to Red Lobsters. Back in the day, Red Lobster was our thing. The other women, they want a ring. Other women, hey, they want to say, I got a boyfriend. So they drop it.
So a man,
let me go ahead.
A woman's life can change by meeting the right man. But a man's life is still the same. Well, how about this? Let's do this.
What do you mean, a woman? What do you mean, Mike?
So how about this? And I know y'all heard it or y'all probably seen it.
Mm-hmm.
A man will drive through a drive-through window at a Popeyes and pick up a woman and change her whole life. But a woman won't drive through. A woman won't drive through Popeyes and pick up a dude. Now y'all tell me I'm wrong for that. You tell me I'm wrong.
Hold up. Michael is saying something that I was actually going to go to today. Ironically, there was something, and it was brought up again. It was something that 21 Savage had mentioned that was out there, and they were talking about that. Let me see if I can get the exact quote for you, because it is something that made me think, and I said I want to bring this to you all in the middle of this. The quote reads, is a comment that read, a rich man can meet a broke woman and change her life, but a rich woman won't even look at a broke man's way. And so that is one thing that's said out there. And then, hold on, I'm not finished. Yeah, I'm not finished yet. That's the quote that was out there. But when 21 Savage got involved, his comment was, let's see if I can find it here. Basically, he was saying that women don't build, that they basically want to come in basically and just ride. Yeah, he says facts. Women don't build, they move in.
How old is he?
He's young. He's pretty young. I'd say he's like early 20s or something.
So he doesn't even know.
Right, but I'm just saying that there's some people who subscribe to that whole thing that women don't build, because you do have a lot of the younger women out there who are trying to go for a ride. But the thing is, there is a whole audience of women, and young women at that are going to get their businesses, their degrees, their jobs, and their whatever themselves together. Do you agree with that? And do you agree that, with that being said, that people have said is flipped on the other side, that women have become too rough, that they don't know how to deal with men, in relationships and so on.
I think the thing with women is that we've been allowed to be independent now. Before, we had to depend on a man in order to get anything. We couldn't have bank accounts, we couldn't have property, we couldn't do anything by ourselves. And now we're at the point where we don't have to depend on a man to do something. So now, I saw a meme not too long ago, and they were like, women are dependent on men to get things anymore. Now we have to be interesting and fun, and we're just not interesting and fun. Now we got to depend on our personality, and we don't have any. So, and I'm not saying that's for all men. I just thought that was funny that I saw that before.
Well, I think that goes. Right. I think that goes both ways, especially with the media age and stuff, and people texting all the time. That people are really not. They really don't know how to talk to each other. They really have no clue. They always on the defensive. They always protecting their image, And anytime you caught up into that kind of energy, that's more of a masculine energy, more than a receptive energy, and a nurturing. Women typically are more nurturing, more sensitive, more caring, and men are tend to be more logical. But when you come to me as a woman and we dealing with you, and I'm a masculine man, I don't want to deal with a masculine female. I'm just gonna tell you, I don't want to hear you. If you ain't coming soft, if you coming hard, then I want to deal with you. I'm not gonna say
I'm sorry, my
masculine
woman.
Hold up.
We'll come back to Bola. You'll make your comment in a minute, but my ears switched off when you said logical. I'm going to need you to explain that because my ears just went click. What you mean by that, Bernard?
Bernard, because I agree with Bernard. I agree with Bernard, and this very same thing he just said is on the YouTube chat where we were talking about the whole a woman being masculine, alpha male or alpha male dealing with a woman who was in touch with her masculine side, and when those two are in the same environment, that's like two alpha males going at it. Bernard, is that what you were saying?
I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life, baby. What's up?
I'm like,
no. So Bernard, was that what you were saying?
It is because you're coming with masculine energy. And you're coming at me with masculine energy.
You can't have
that's
two
like two
leaders
in the household.
Yeah, you can't have two leaders. It's like this. Somebody has to take the lower position.
Exactly.
No, it's not even lower.
And I don't say low. No. I don't say lower in a bad way. At the end of the day, the man I'm with, I have to respect him and follow his leadership. But that does not mean
that's rare. That's rare. That mindset that she has is rare.
But that does not mean that man does not respect who I am and what I have to contribute and what I want to do in life. This is what makes a relationship.
Okay.
It's not like, well, I got to show I'm an independent woman. Okay, if you're independent, then you got to pay the bills too.
A lot of women do pay the bills.
But
they're happy.
I come from the opposite side. I've been the breadwinner.
If you're so independent,
look here.
Wait a minute, Bernard.
Thank you.
Hold on. Look, in my history of dating, before I met my wife, like, we go through our wars, whatever. But it's like when it gets to the point to where, like going, just dealing with females and growing up and learning about myself. And it gets to the point to where, okay, you want to be the dude and the female? If that's the case, go fuck yourself. You want to be the man and the female.
Okay, my question is simple. My question is this. You all are talking about relationships. I was talking about in life. Not every woman is married. Not every woman has a man in the house, and you have to be independent. You have to know how to do things for yourself, because if you don't, who else is going to do them? So I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about in a marriage or relationship. That's totally different. Okay, then that's where I'm talking from.
Okay. Go get your wine.
Because the subject does not say relationship.
Yeah, in that scenario, then a woman is going to have to tap into her masculine energy to defend her family, to defend her household, to defend her stuff. She's a fool if she doesn't tap into that masculine energy. You know, because there's no covering. There's no man to cover her. So she's going to have to step up her game and do what she do. But I think the issue is when they try to get out of that, when they come into a relationship and they still in that masculine energy when they come to a relationship. And that's where the problem comes. I don't have no problem with a woman taking charge of a situation when she's got no man and no one to protect her.
But you have to understand, this works from both sides. This is not just the woman, because if you really look at it, in a relationship, when you bring two people together who have been on their own, they both have to blend into relationships. So you can't just look at the woman. You could be looking at a soft man too. You could be looking at anything. So don't just lean it on the woman. It's two people that must come in together.
But Tanya, again, you have to look at your intent. Why, if you've got a soft man, why, and you're looking for a man to step up, why did you get with the soft man?
Because
no, I'm not saying that. It's just when I say soft, not you. It's not necessarily in every aspect. You don't see some things right away. You know what I'm saying? You don't even see it all the time. You see it as you blend in.
What's your definition?
You know?
What's your definition of soft?
My definition of soft, when I was speaking a little while ago, and I still am on the same point, someone who cannot stand up and be the dominance of that family. Because to me, I still believe in old school. There needs to be this man. If he's with me, he's the man of this family. And I don't want to be the man of this family. But if I feel like I am pushed into a position to be that, then that is not someone for me. That's not going to work out.
Yeah, you got to get out. But a lot of women will not get out. As a lot of times, as older we get as women, well, I'm gonna stay and make him change. He ain't gonna change. My thing is, if I meet a man at my age and he's got a roommate, that's the last time right there. Why you got a roommate? I ain't got a roommate. Why do you have a roommate? That means you cannot take care of me. You cannot even take care of yourself. So why am I even getting into a relationship with somebody like that? Because I want somebody in my life.
That's
okay, Michael. Michael, what you got?
So, Tanya, you said earlier you took away, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Earlier you took away the whole concept of not everyone was in a relationship.
Right.
But just a few minutes ago, you said a man taking care of a family. So when you say a man taking care of family, that
inside of the relationship. Yeah, if we're talking inside of the relationship, but if outside of the relationship, we already had discussed what is considered soft and what is considered, a woman.
Okay, I wanted to gain clarity.
But when you get inside the relationship, it has to be a blend that happens for me. And in that blend, that's when I need a man who can stand up and be the head of my family.
Okay, so I want to gain clarity on that one. And next, because I keep hearing about women have to get in touch with their masculinity and this, that, and the other. Don't know if I'm one of the few that's an exception to the rule. Before a long time, I was a single parent. So this man had to get in touch with his femininity side to be a mother to my son. Mm-hmm. So y'all have that argument. You have that argument. You have that argument about women getting in touch with their masculinity because they have to do things because something is not available. But what about those men who have to be single fathers and they have to be mothers? And then when a woman comes into that house trying to, I guess, fill that role, right, in a blended family type of scenario, and he's been the mother for that child for so long, and they come in there trying to be whatever. I mean, is that not reversed? So if you make that argument for a woman having to be a single parent, she has to be dependent. What happens when that man has to do the same thing, and then a woman and he enters into a relationship on the same?
I think
go ahead.
I think there's too much of a focus on the fact that women have to be feminine and men have to be masculine. Everyone has a balance of masculinity and femininity. Like everyone has that balance. And I think that once you get past the idea that women have to have this certain amount of femininity and men have to have this certain amount of masculinity in order to identify as male or female or be passing by whatever standards that society has on that, I think that's when relationships are able to move forward, because it's not about them. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I understand the necessity in a relationship for a man to take charge in certain times, but coming from someone who has so many matriarchs as examples as opposed to patriarchal ideals, like my dad was a stay-at-home dad. My mom was the breadwinner of the family. After my grandfather died, I was like 6 months old, and my grandmother took care of like my mom's entire side of the family, you know, like, so coming from a place where matriarch is more of an example for me, and I come from women who were considered probably in their time or era to be more masculine than feminine. I feel that once we recognize that there's more of a balance in all of us to have masculine and feminine qualities, we can share that responsibility, as opposed to being like, oh, he's a man, he's supposed to be responsible for A, B, C, and D, or I'm a woman, I'm supposed to be responsible for A, B, C, and D. No, it can be like, okay, he's a man, but he can be responsible for A and C, and I'm a woman, so I can be responsible for B and D, and we can share the load.
Yeah.
But Shannon,
Bernard
had some Bible.
Bernard had something.
Certain things should be shared.
I don't follow the Bible.
Not all aspects of the femininity part should be shared with the male. Just like every masculinity part should be shared with the female, because we talk about balance. There's a certain balance, but the femininity and masculinity should not be the same. Because if it's the same, that's a problem.
Well, I didn't say the same. I said shared.
No, I agree with you on that. As long as it's understood that the masculinity and then the femininity for both men and females should never be the same. That's my opinion. That's just my upbringing. Because otherwise, how can you identify who is who? What role are you supposed to play?
Bernard has something, and then after that, I want to comment on what Rick said. So let me put that in my notes. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is that I'm a single dad too. So I had to, I was very masculine. I'm a military man. So, it was like by the numbers. But I was seeing my son, how it affected my son, not being exposed to the feminine side of me and not having that feminine woman in the household, that he literally had nowhere to hide. Because I was on him like white on rice. And it was really affecting his confidence, because I had him up here at a certain... Men set the bar, typically. A masculine man is going to set the bar for his kids. So I'm always putting the bar on him, but I'm not showing that kindness and love and caring and sensitivity. So when I saw how it was affecting him, I had to think, like, what's more important, my masculinity or having a healthy son? I chose to have a healthy son. So what I did is I got a little more sensitive, a little bit more kind, and I might come with a hard rule, but then I'll come back and say, like, son, I love you. I know you can do this. I have a lot of confidence in you, and that you're gonna be a great man one day. But I'm just trying to get you to that level right now. So I had to come in hard, but then I had to come back and swoop back and come with the femininity part of things.
I said earlier,
so he could get the whole picture instead of getting one side of the picture and being.
Did he freeze?
Yeah, he froze.
So I wanted to ask Bernard, how did that? Did you feel? For me, having to make that transition, I felt vulnerable and uncomfortable. So how did that make you feel when you had to do that?
You know what? I saw the tears in my son's eyes, and that melted all that masculinity bull crap, being masculine the whole time. Because once you see the tears in your child's eyes, that'll change you quicker than anything else. That was enough to, like, okay, I got to try a different way. Because I'm not trying to make him have therapy for the next 30 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And and what Shannon, the masculinity and the femininity, y'all
We
know
got
what
you.
I'm
We got
saying.
you.
We got it.
You better put
Well,
that cup down. Whatever
yeah,
cup you sipping from, you better put it down.
okay, but it really has to do with survival. Like you guys were saying, you raised
Right.
your kids, and at the end of the day, that masculine energy
Right.
that you were bringing, you realize in your household you did not have that female energy to balance off. So now you had to take on that feminine energy so your son could get it both. It has to do with survival mode. You wanted to survive your household, and you want your son to go on to survive. It's not so much what energy, oh, you're masculine, I'm feminine. It's the survival mode. We've all been raised, yes, women, because we bring life, we bring forth life, men make life. If we understand in everything we do, because even in the workplace, when it makes a decision, it's usually the woman who has to give up her career to fit the man's career. It's been switched with this new generation, but now they're facing other problems that
Mm.
we did not have to face
Right.
growing up.
One question. I hear this and I'm asking for education purposes because I don't know all.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing people say roles. Who placed these roles upon us,
On us.
and where in our is this biblical sense? Is this cultural? Like, is this like humanoid like roles? Like, where did the roles come from? Where men had to be this and do this, and then women had to be this and do this.
It's
And
been like that since cavemen, quote
but
unquote.
but is
Pictures of the
caveman even
caveman.
real? Like, I don't know. Like, so that's why I said I'm asking for educational purposes. So please enlighten me.
Some cultures lived in caves, other cultures lived in tents. So it's been since eon that the man was at. Why do you think there's some cultures men have more than one wives?
Right. And I learned that on a deployment that that there men can have more than one wife, providing they meet certain conditions.
Right.
All right. So
I've
like I
even
said,
seen
I'm
it,
only asking. So
and I've seen a community where the women get to choose how many husbands they have.
oh,
There is no
I was about to
war,
say.
peace, and there's no fighting.
Yeah, I was about to say it depends on cultural.
Yeah, but
wise.
they didn't last.
So some
No,
men
it's
didn't
still
last.
around. No, it's still around. But no, it's still around.
You know, some Native
Nah,
Americans they
ain't no
shared
major
those
nation,
roles.
though. They're not no major nation.
I have a question, but let's do the chat first, and then I actually have a question for you all.
So who's
Who's
in chat already? I mean, I can see
some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Hold on. So how far are we going back? Because we got a lot of chat that we missed.
So I think after the Thanos thing, maybe.
Shannon.
Yes, hello.
Okay. I mean, wherever you start.
So like after the Thanos thing, maybe. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
all right.
Go ahead.
So Tracy says if a woman is trying to play the role of a man in the household while a man is in the household, she might feel he is soft. And Mike agreed. He said a woman in touch with her masculine side turns into an alpha. So when a man enters, there's two alphas in the same territory, and we know what happens next. And Tracy was talking about when you were talking earlier. She said at that point, Tandy, he's soft. And I was laughing while Bola was talking about Denny's and stuff because Tiana was like, at least it wasn't Waffle House. And
we didn't have that many Waffle House back in the day.
And Veronica said they only act like babies when they're sick. And Tiana says, if I'm going to give a man some support, I'll be supported too. Dick is cheap. And I was dying hard. And like me and Tiana have been in the same place. Like she supported one of her ex-boyfriends for like 2 years. You know my thing. I've helped a man build a whole career and helped a couple men after that. And she was talking mess while Bernard was talking, and she said, masculine isn't receptive. You're just making the case not to date men. And she said, I've never met a man who is a true leader.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry for a young lady who didn't have that.
But that's more about choices. That's about choices. I think women sometimes make they justify their thing, what they say and what they believe by their experiences by making poor choices. If you make a poor choice and you have to feel like those beta males all the time, and that's what you date, beta males, that's what's going to happen to you all the time. If you date weak men, that's what you're going to get, weak men. And a lot of times they will avoid dealing with the alpha male a lot of times because they don't want nobody to call them on their, as Turner Lou said, on their sweet honey iced tea. You don't want nobody to call you out like, why you do it like that and why you do it like this and ask you.
I mean,
there might be a better way.
That's my experience with men too. They don't want to be called on their sugar honey iced tea either.
Bad choices, baby. Bad choices.
See, Janet, I've dated men where I was the breadwinner. I made the decision. Mm-hmm. But then I had to decide, do I like that? No, I don't. I like a man, I want a man who can bring home the bacon. I'll cook it up. But okay. I'm not scared to help.
I got a question for y'all.
Y'all need to check that chat. Check that last comment in that chat.
Oh yeah, no, he was though. So I don't know if I can speak on this. I'm gonna because Tiana's
my reality.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the way that that's what I was saying earlier, the way that cis people see masculine and feminine energy, it's a little bit different than what applies to other places in the world.
Yeah, 6'9",
even in the
and being a drag queen has to do anything about being like an alpha male. It's obvious he's not a damn alpha male, okay? Because first of all, an alpha male's masculine powers, not in his beta powers, or that ain't even a beta. That's like a C level. You know what I'm saying?
Dressing like a drag queen doesn't have anything to do with how masculine or feminine you are.
So let me ask this. Let me ask this question because we're
yes, it does.
And I do have a question. When you finish, Michael, I do have a question, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
My question is, when it comes to it's kind of far away from where you're all on the betas and all that kind of stuff like that. I really want to know, when it comes to a single mother. First of all, I've asked men this in the past. Do you feel like a single woman effectively raise young men, first of all? And when it comes to that whole thing about being too rough, don't you feel that a woman who is a single mother, and especially the mother of, I can't even say just a man anymore, because you have to be strong for your females too, that there is a certain element of the whole child raising process where they have to be rough? Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so my mama did a hell of a job as a single parent with 4 kids, you know what I'm saying? And she started out young. She probably gonna kill me for saying this on this thing, but like, she started out young with 2, and then quickly thereafter she had 2 more. So she had 4 kids at an early age. I think I turned out pretty damn well. However, I will say this. When we talk about a single parent,
so now he's trying to be crunk.
No, it's all good. No, and I only say this because I think a single mother who who is strong and raising that young male. I do believe that. Let me go back to the original topic, but I do believe that young men need male figures in their life, and this is where I'm going to compliment the single mother that's raising these men. I think that those women ensure to surround their young sons around good role models or good men. Even if the daddy isn't present, there's uncles, there's other men like the man down the street from us when we was little. We was raised on the ranch. You know, the older couple in the neighborhood, they didn't have kids, so they babysat all of the neighborhood kids, and we all had to go down there and work that farm. You know what I mean? But Mr. Willie and Miss RB, him and his wife, you know, they were that older couple that kind of set an example. You know, even though they weren't together, like my pops was there. He made sure I was in church. He made sure I knew how to fish and stuff like that. So even though they may be single parents and the brunt of the responsibility is upon them, what makes them that strong individual raising a young men, is that they make sure that those support systems or those positive males are in their life at some point, so that they have an example to mold after.
The village,
right? The village. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, let me say this. Let me say this.
Bola was going to speak.
The model that we have in the Black community right now, that model of single parent with the women is not working. It's not working in our community.
Is that because the times have changed?
Now, it has nothing to do with the time. The time is that you need to have a strong family union. That, you know, when we talk about like the real Holy Trinity and the real fundamental basis of a culture is the man, the woman, and the child.
Okay.
That works best for the child to have both parents in the household better than just having one parent. I don't care if it's one man raising a single man or a single woman. The best scenario is to have a loving, bringing up by two loving parents in the house in a committed relationship. This thing about women doing a great job about a single parent, I can't tell by looking at a lot of these kids, by my interaction with these kids, and then I interact with a lot of single parent kids, their kids, and I end up being father to those kids. I just had a young man was in my household, and he's coming from a dysfunctional family, and he saw where every time my son left, I would say like, "Bye, son, I love you." So he was over here last night because a lot of times they spend the night over here, and he walked out the door, and I said, "Bye, man." He said, "Yeah, bye. I love you, Pops." And I was like, "God, man, I love you too, son." But that wasn't my son. But he is my son because he is a child that needs a male role model and male leadership. So it does take a village to raise a family. But if you have a situation where there's a bunch of women and they're the dominant, raising kids by themselves, you got a lot through the cracks, man. And not saying that not all that's for every woman. Because what we do is we make the exception the rule. We'll make this one lady who can play the role as father and mother and does a damn good job at it. But we got out of the 10, we got the other 70%. They're not doing a good job. They're toxic.
So Bernard, so here's where I'm not gonna say I disagree with what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from, but I think at this point you're selling yourself short, because I asked that question. Do you think it's about the time? You seem like a seasoned man with good logic and good understanding. So when you say you became a father figure to someone of current age, you're from the old school era, right? So you became that positive role model for that individual from your era and your logic and your thinking. right? So that single mother who had whomever child knew enough to know that this is the gentleman that I feel could probably present himself, you know what I'm
She's
saying, in a
nowhere in
better
the
position.
picture. She's nowhere in the picture. That's what
Oh
I'm
shit. Okay.
saying.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot
I'm
of
wrong.
these
I'm
kids
totally
I'm
wrong.
picking up because my
I was trying,
association with
I was trying to be with you, man.
my son. My
Right.
association son. My son's on the wrestling team. My son is a popular DJ in the area. So he has a lot of young men gravitating to him, and they're wondering from where did he get his confidence, where he gets his charisma, where he gets his attitude. Why
Did he
is
get it from you? But he got it from
on
you,
the
right?
right track?
He got it from
Right.
So what's the
So
solution?
they asking him. Well, the solution is we got to get more single mothers and fathers working together as a team. Period. Be it if they're single or they being divorced or being never married, they both have to put an input with that, have a balanced outlook on life.
Okay,
I have
Bola's been
some.
trying to get the comment.
Go ahead, Bola.
Yeah. Like who is it? Tina said, Tracy said, it takes a village. And back in the day, it took the community,
Right.
your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, friends to raise your children.
Right.
School teachers raise a child.
Used to.
Nowadays,
Used to.
you used to. Nowadays, we've become very selfish. My time, my this, but we want to have kids. So kids are, well, I have a kid, so I look like I have this happy family, but the kid is suffering. Nobody wants to sacrifice for the kids that are being brought into this world because everybody is, well, I've got this masculine energy, I've got this family. Throw that out the door. The thing is, as like Bernard said, what is a unit? It is a unit that is going to propel us into the next generation.
No, and I agree. I totally agree. I totally agree with his concept because when you look at, I guess the statistics, you know, kids that have a perfect union, if you will, that trinity that he's talking about, mother, father, child, you know what I mean? They do the statistics show that they prosper a little bit better. But when you're lacking, then like you said, the village raises the child, but like that doesn't mean that that child can't be prosperous or successful without. You know what I mean? That's why I was saying that a parent, and I understand exactly what he's saying. Some parents that know, that have that knowledge, they know that, okay, I need someone. I'm gonna tell you like this. When I was at that point in my life when I realized that my child, I was depriving my child of femininity, right? Because I was so stuck in that man box. I was out there, I was like, man, you know, however old, my son needs this figure. Shit. The next woman that come along and got her shit together, I'm finna marry this woman. Right? Because I was trying to make sure that my son had something in his life. Right. And I think, you know, so I think somebody said earlier that people are just kind of marrying like at speed, or whatever the case may be. But
marry and divorce.
Right.
It's so easy to get this divorce. No one thinks about the kids. Yes, there is no manual on how to raise a child because every child is an individual. So you as a parent have to look at this child and determine how you're going to raise, because I know with me with my siblings, we have 3 different stories on how we were raised, and I'm sure you were like that in everybody else's.
Yeah. So and I'm not taking away nothing from nobody. I just wanted to say that, but I get it. I get it. I totally understand, and I don't have all the answers, but I do feel like people that are aware of what their child needs, like you were saying, Bernard, will do what needs to be done, or make the decisions that, you know, the right decisions that needs to be done for them to have that structure, whether it be a solid family, whether it be friends, or whether it be a village or community. That's kind of where I was kind of going.
Can I talk to the parents out there, because I need to really emphasize this. very, very strongly. It's your duty to be a great parent. It's your duty to be a great father. It's your duty to be a great mother. You say a children doesn't come with a book or a manual, but it's your duty to seek the information, to seek wise counsel, to open up a damn book about parenting, to talk to your parents. If your parent's not a good parent, someone else who is wise counsel to be a parent. There is no excuse not to be a good parent.
Oh no, no. When I say there's no manual, when I say there's not no manual, I'm not talking about if that gives you no reason.
No, I'm not saying you said that.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't. I'm not wanting you to be defensive. I'm trying to just make a point.
No. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's saying that's his message to the people.
It's your duty. I'm not talking to you. I told you right off the rip. I wasn't talking to you, Bola. I'm talking to parents out there in the www, the World Wide Web, that it is your duty to be a great parent. Who wants to be a half-ass pathetic?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Some people apparently do. So
because they're kids having kids. Kids having kids. Kids who have not matured and kids because they think it's
even that kid though.
Huh?
And that's where we come in, where you got some soft ass men and women that are harsh, or some harsh ass. The opposite. You know what the hell I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, you know what? That's how, I mean, because to me, at the end of the day, which I was still going to say, we still have people. I'm sorry. I don't care what your argument is. I still feel like there's some guys out there that are just too soft. I'm so sorry. They don't know what it's like to be a man that is in society, who's supposed to be a pillar of society. And yes, you do have some women that might be too rough who say, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. So I still feel like that argument is alive. You know, you all can dress it up any way you want, but that still comes out on the other side. What can we do as a solution to make those particular things a little better? How can we remedy? Because that's what we do.
Be honest with each other.
So how you make a soft man hard and a hard woman soft?
Women people who say, "Oh, I don't need a man. I don't need a woman." Mm-hmm. We were created to be in a union. We were created to be in relationships. So when you say you don't need the other, there's something wrong with you that you have to deal with the issue. Something in your past makes you not want to be with other people, because that's kind of we're not all of us are gonna get married, but that doesn't mean we don't get in relationships. What are you laughing at, Mike?
Y'all gotta look at the chat.
I think that we all saw it at the same time when Tiana said.
Hey, look, I was looking at the chat. I'm sorry, the chat.
I know how to make man hard.
But clue everybody in on it.
All right, so while y'all were talking, and Bola, you made a very good point, and Bernard made a very good point prior to going into that when Tanya asked her question. So who was this? Tiana McCoy said, "I need a man." She said, "I need a man just with a with a woe attached to it." I don't know what woe mean, but you can explain that later. And then it was like, how to make a soft man hard? Show him a little bit of leg, basically, right? Like, so
it's how I noticed we all saw it at the same time. I was like,
right, yes, we did. And then Clayton, who's it? Clayton.
They wasn't laughing at you, Bola. They wasn't at you at all.
Yeah, they weren't laughing at you. And then Clayton Faircloth said, one of the main
somebody said they hate you.
Yeah, so Clayton Faircloth said one of the main issues of why men are turning soft and women are turning rough is due to the cycle I like to call hard, tough, easy, weak. I would like for him to kind of, I wish he was on, or whoever that person was on, to kind of explain that.
Yeah, hard, tough, easy, weak. I would love to know more about that.
That sound like a good quote that has some.
Well, he has more. He has more. Keep looking down. He does have more there.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Hard times create tough men. Tough men create easy times, and easy times create
weak men. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's some logic there.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's
like
Clayton?
that.
Where Clayton been at? Clayton,
Yeah,
yeah,
Hey, Clayton is a buddy of mine. We worked together a few years ago, and we have heavy chats and such. So I just said,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right. But you know, I like to we like to leave people with the solutions
I
of the
also have
whole
to look
thing.
at.
Go ahead, Bernard.
What are you looking at?
No, go ahead, Bernard.
What are you starting to look at?
What I'm looking at,
I think
what
there's
I
that
was just
delay
saying.
thing.
It's like somebody unplugged him.
We're looking at the economical time, and we're looking at how society has changed over the years, and what happened. A gregarian society where men were required to do a lot. We went to an industrial side where we went to a manufacturer, and then we went from a from like hunters and gatherers to now a service. When hard skills versus soft skills, women will dominate in a soft skill environment because that they're naturally nurturers and better communicators than men who will achieve and get greatness in a harder society where you got to go out and hunt. So what's happening is men are losing. They don't know how to fit in softer society. So they're redefining themselves right now. They be masculine in this now. And women are embracing masculinity for the first time. So they're kind of figuring out how did they be still tap into their femininity and also maintain balance with the relationship. So I think that the bottom line is you're really going to have to communicate each other. And what works for one couple doesn't work for all, but what works for you works for you.
Hey,
and on top of
women,
that, I would say realizing the power of both masculine and feminine energy qualities. Once you learn, realize the power and respect the power of each, you'll have an understanding of how to operate that shit. You understand how to make that work and respect it. Respect its power on both parts.
Right. Women were made for men. Men were made for women. They were made to coexist. Right. So that structure ideally is supposed to be there, but when it's not, that's why they say it takes a village to raise a child. Because I remember them days where Miss RB, her name was Miss Roberta Pearson, she would stand on her front porch and yell the kids' names across the land, and the people on the two streets over would know that somebody needed to get home. Hey, you need to get your ass home, right? And so on and so forth. That's why back in the day you could call and say who was where and who was doing what, and everybody knew what was going on. That's why when you went to church and you was cutting up, your mama didn't have to whoop your ass. The lady 2 seats down was whooping your ass because you were doing something you had no business you supposed to be doing.
Now, was that you?
Right, yeah, that was me, right? But then
they look at you. The mothers of the church look at you.
Right, they do, right? But then to come back, because everybody had valid points, and I totally agree with where we were going. But when people talk about a solution, man, the solution is basically getting. We always say getting back to those old days, whether it be old days or new days, man. It's just having a genuine give a damn about one another and wanting to see us prosper and progress and doing our part of what we can to help somebody, to actually help somebody. Because some people don't want the help, and I get it. But if you see somebody out there, if I see a young cat, a young man, young lady, and I see him out there, I'm gonna be like, hey man, let me holler at you. Let me spit at you for a minute. You know, I feel like I'm old enough but young enough to kind of relate. And I'll try to. Y'all get where I'm going with that? You know what I mean? To try to convey that message, to be like, hey, A, B, C, D, and E. And sometimes all it takes is just a little something. You don't have to preach to them, just a little bit of something to kind of drop a gem or jewel on somebody and maybe change their life.
give them a sense of significance.
Yeah.
Well, let me throw some fire out there real quick because I want to know the answer to this one before we get out of here. Because what we'll do is break and then we'll come back and everybody just talk about what they're doing for the week. But I want to know, in conclusion, you all have said the compromise and the whole thing with the soft man and the rough women. I mean, I still want to know how you rehab. Yes, how you gonna rehab the soft ass man who is
how I got the answer. If you're a woman that does not like a soft man, don't date them. If you're a woman who likes that soft man, or if you're a woman who likes that, you can date them.
But no, Bola, I mean, not even a dating part. We want to just know if a soft man, no, he ain't doing a damn thing right. If he's listening, he needs some help. Y'all give him some help right now.
Why are you even dealing with them? Why are you even dealing with them?
I'm not dealing with them. Trust that.
No, not you.
I'm trying to figure out. You know me. Yeah, you know me. It ain't going down. But I'm saying for a soft ass man that is listening and one of his partners is listening and saying, hey, I see a show for you. They got some advice for you. What y'all got for him?
But listen, like I had this mother, her son was a soft man, but she was looking for an independent woman. And I said to her, she was always making excuses for her son. And I said, why would a woman like me want your son? What is he bringing to my table?
Right. I got you.
He dates what he can maintain.
I feel like Tanya got some personal shit that she ain't necessarily being truthful with, because you keep talking about because you getting hyped and whatever wine you sipping on over there. We need to know
for real.
Who is this soft ass dude that you talking about? Because you talking about something.
There was a time, and it's not now because I had to grow and I had to learn. You know, I couldn't have anybody in my life like that. So there's no one around me like that now. But there was a time, and it was years ago when I had I think when I first got here to Atlanta, I saw a lot of pretty faces, and maybe that was it. I was looking at the pretty faces, and I was dating that type of dude or something, but there was too much softness there. I didn't feel like, you feel like the person that you're with or you're involved with should be a support in some way, some type of a backbone. Like I said, I don't need to have you buy everything for me, do everything for me like that. But if there's something in my house that shouldn't be in my house, I got an opossum that runs in my house, and I call you, dude, I got an opossum in my house, and you can't do nothing to help me get the damn possum out of the house. That's just a scenario. I'm just talking about that kind of softness. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was asking earlier. What was your definition of softness? Because that your definition.
Whiny ass.
No, because your definition of softness helps for at least some of us that are here, the three men that are here.
I think
Bernard, you're freezing.
Yeah.
Bernard, it's on you.
Bernard got it.
Okay. Like, if you have a soft man in your image, in your mind, what's the soft and hard man? Tell him like it is. Women don't want to tell men what the problem is. If you have a problem, he ain't going. If he don't want to take if there's a noise on the other side, he don't want to check it out. You say, you got it up to the side. Being your feminist, with loving and caring, say, hey, bro, I expect my man to protect me. And if you can't protect me like I want to be protected,
you gotta go.
Other than that, give him a chance to step up, because a lot of times don't know what they because they might have came from a feminine by their mom.
Hey, the greasy gear or the greasy whatever they say.
So he's a feminine man, and he doesn't know.
Okay, right.
And
tell him, man, if a man loves you, and you tell him what's wrong,
All right, let's start with
They will
this.
step up to a real man would step up to the plate.
Let's start with this.
Most men, I just had this conversation. The other day. Most men are problem solvers. Most men are problem solvers. If you tell a man a problem, most men, they're problem
But
solvers.
you're right.
Or they want to be fixers. So if you let him know where he's wrong, he's going to damn near break his neck to try to fix it, because most, I'm not saying all, most men want to please their woman and make sure that they're happy.
They're the protector.
They're going to
They're
deal
that
with
protected
Most.
energy.
I didn't say all, I said most.
But
So you better
can
highlight that word most in color.
no, but you can look just when you start living with the guy or dating with the guy will show you what he is. Just like when you start dating a woman, you will see what she is. Is she the type of woman? Okay, when you bring your work buddies home, is she gonna stop flirting? Is she gonna start wearing inappropriate outfits?
If she don't have that hot water bag in that bathroom, I'm packing my shit, getting the hell on. You hear me?
Listen. Corey said Tanya's upset because the man didn't kill the possum. Both of them standing on the couch screaming, ain't no good. Ain't no good.
Yeah, you know what my mom did when we was young, when we lived in the island?
That's a problem. Dogs are not animals. You have the capacity to change.
There was a snake in the cabinet. She walked in, she saw the snake. She grabbed her 3 kids and left my daddy there and said, do something with that snake. And my daddy had to take care of my dad. And after he killed it, he said, what about me? She said, what about you? You the man.
Let me ask you this. Hold on.
Y'all been paying attention to that chat. That chat is funny as fuck.
What the hell did that man do to get you to begin with? What did he do? That should be.
He was just cute. And that's all. See, that was my fault.
He relied on his cuteness, and you fell for the shit.
So you relied on his cuteness and what you thought was gonna be hard, and he ended up being soft.
Yeah, I mean, number one, Tanya. Any man who think he's cuter than me, I gotta take a second look.
There you go.
Because I don't need a man.
And I had to stop doing that. Because I had a problem.
Look the other way.
No. I said cuter than me.
That's what I'm saying. I had to stop doing that part because I was I'm a shallow, vain ass Libra, and I would look and see some things, and I know the error of my ways.
Shallow.
So earlier, one of y'all made that comment about accepting people and trying to look for people and this, that, and the other. And what I was going to try to say earlier, and this is by no way means. Fuck it, probably is, right? So when you made the comment about men being soft and not wanting to kick the possum and this, that, and the other, but you kind of deal with it anyway. So is that similar to faking it? You know what I mean? Like when you're talking about like faking it, like you got somebody who ain't really cutting it for you. Right, like they're not cutting it for you, but you're like, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings, or I don't want to do this, or when I do that, because he ain't hard as you want him to be. And I mean, this is literal context at this point. Right. So you're faking it. So, and I'm saying is because if you're willing to fake it in an intimate moment, then 9 times out of 10 you're faking it when he ain't getting that possum out the yard, when he ain't lighting the grill the way you want him to light the grill, when he ain't putting the door back up or tightening the damn wrench on the thing under the sink, that shit up under there. The plumber, he ain't been. But all of these shit sound like it.
Mike,
I can't pay for the pizza. I'm sorry.
If you can't pay for the pizza, you ain't eating the pizza. I don't care how hungry you are.
You ain't eating
Hey, you ain't eating. A lot of pizza eating going on out there.
You ain't eating none of the pizzas.
You ain't eating none. Not up in here. Not in house. You somewhere else. I know why you came. You want to get fed.
Oh shit! So I'm gonna go to Pops on I was gonna ask Pops a question. So, and I'm only asking this. Well, I'm not only asking. I'm asking this because You know, I'm still young, but as far as what you're hearing tonight, when it comes to that resolve or that solution for how to make a that sounds totally wrong. How to make a soft man hard, right? What is the solution?
Wait a minute. What kind of hard is she talking about?
No. Hold on. But I think in general context, generally speaking, in general context, that sounded horrible. In general context, but no, and I'm asking Pops because, like I said, I don't know everything, and I'm still rather, I feel like I'm kind of still learning. So, what is that solution on how to change that dynamic?
Can you change it if he doesn't want to be changed?
I got this.
Yeah,
I got this.
Okay.
If you women find yourself in a situation, there's ways to encourage your men how to be or have a tougher skin and to be leadership. What you have to do is, baby, learn how to walk. When they learn how to walk, when he scoops, you're clapping. Like, yeah, you're clapping. When he does crawling, yeah, he's clapping. And when he takes that first step and falls down, you say, oh, you almost won. He takes 2 more steps, and you're like, oh, yeah. What you got to do is catch your men doing the... see, you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. That, catch your man on the behavior that you want to do and reward him when he gets that behavior. So if he goes out there and looks at the possum, oh, hey, you was brave enough to check it out for me. You ain't kill the possum, but you did go out there and look at the possum window. And next time he goes out and he actually goes outside to check out to see what the possum doing. They can beat the possum to death. See what I'm saying?
See,
so you got your help your man.
Explanation.
See, this is when I started to
him by reinforcing good behavior.
But I gotta.
You can reinforce good behavior when a person wants to change. If a person likes where they are and who they are, like I know women who married men thinking this man was going to change, but that man never said, I want to change or I don't like who I am. So along the way, these women brought in kids and now they're very unhappy. Well, he hasn't changed. But the men you can be with.
What some of y'all said earlier sounds like classical conditioning. Like when you're sitting there saying that you're gonna reward somebody for this and for that.
No, that's what Bernard said. I don't believe in me. There are men that I will
No. That was way out of context. No.
You don't have to believe. You don't have to believe in something.
But it's hard to hurt.
I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all got serious on that.
Bernard, it's hard to hear you because to me you're cutting in and out.
No. There is a slight delay.
Man, it doesn't work. It works
we respond by action.
Day, okay?
We respond by action.
The thing is that a lot of women don't know how much power they have to change a man. They don't know how much power.
They
don't know how much power that a man wants his woman to be happy.
There's no such thing in changing anything.
You can't unless they want to
change it.
Hold up.
Now, if you don't have that influence on your man, then you need to find another man.
Rick. Let me say this real quick. Let me say this. Rick, you got it. No, I'm gonna say this real quick, and Rick got it. If you in some situations, men do it and women do it. Girl, he fine, he cute, he fine, he just smoke. But I'm gonna change that. You're wrong. Hey man, she got everything going, but she just be on that damn phone. But I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna hit her with this, you know, she gonna change that though. You're wrong. Like if you're going into something thinking you're gonna change something about somebody, nobody changes unless they want to change themselves.
You don't manage shit but the kids.
Right. So, and that's all I was gonna say. Rick, you got the mic.
You just, I hate you, fucking asshole. I hate you.
You manage shit with them kids.
Real shit. Like, no, you can't. And if you have to change somebody, if you have to change
That's too
somebody,
much work.
if you have to change someone,
I didn't say change somebody. I'm talking about encourage people to make behavior change.
If anyone has to
They
change,
gotta want to change. Like at the end of it,
hear me out.
if they don't try to change.
Hold on, wait now, hold on.
No, we're agreeing with you, Bernard. We're agreeing with you. Well, I'm agreeing with you.
If anybody feels the need to change anybody, and they end up being that person that you want them to be, is that shit even real?
Huh?
They didn't do it from within.
No. Hey, that's what
See,
the thing is,
the thing is,
you asked me, wait, hold
up. The thing is owning up to what you said earlier. The thing is owning up to what you said earlier.
Hold on, guys. I want Rick to finish his point first, and then Bernard, you come in.
The thing is owning up to what you said earlier, keeping it cordial. All right, so let's dig in. All right, so why are you with this person if you have to change them? If you need to have a power over somebody, he or she is just as equivalent to the fucking kids. Period. You are not changing anybody. You can influence them. You can influence them along the way and help them see their darknesses and talk to them and not.
You know, I'm talking about when I went. I'm talking about when I went to couple counseling and how you talk to the people to get people to do. I've been in sales like for 30 years. Okay, how to get people to change what they want to do. See, the thing is, you see, people want to have sales.
Okay.
Sales,
okay. I understand what you're saying. Okay, sales. Okay, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I just make sure you understand what you're saying.
The thing is, this is the thing. This is the thing. The goal of a couple is to work together harmoniously and to be on the same team. Mm-hmm. So if I'm asking you to do something for the team or take something for the team, then we're already in agreement. There is no opposite roles. Is no conflict in ideology. When you talk about changing somebody at their core, when they have, like, say they're a liar or they're just lazy to the core, that's a whole different conversation right there. Well, we're talking about a loving couple who has agreed to join together and they're on the same side. You got to have that first agreement right there. And now all things work for the good of the couple. And then you can encourage someone to assume, like, men like to be praised. Men like to if I do a good job, I want to hear something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody likes to be praised.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Even that praise.
But no, you're right. Men like to be praised. Women have a lot of influence on the man they're with.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Men like to be what?
Have a lot of influence. Just like a man has a lot of influence. But it can't be one-sided where the woman is always having to, oh, honey, you're this, you're this.
But
there's some things
that women.
Hey, look here.
It's men and women.
The only thing I have with Bola, she asked me a specific question. She asked me a specific question: how the women can influence dealing with weak men, and that's what I answered. All this other stuff you guys saying is well and good, but I'm answering the question. You're answering a whole total different dynamic of scenarios.
Well,
my thing is,
she asked me a specific question. I answered it. I'm not answering from the balance and all that stuff. How can women help their man be a tougher man? Question, and that's what I answered.
So
I do want to know the answer. I did want to know the answer to that. Damn it, I sure did want to know the answer to
you
that.
just want somebody to kill that possum.
I wasn't ready to kill his ass.
Oh, hey, look here. Hey, no, real talk. We've been going at it. The chat, we should have been on the YouTube chat because the chat is live. So
Yes.
okay, so I think we kind of left off of some good stuff. Hold on, I see something about some 6-inch heels. It says, show me a man who's willing to put on 6-inch heels and confidently entertain the crowd, and I will show you a man that has more confidence than any man I know.
Yeah, that was Tiana talking about her ex-boyfriend.
Okay, my bad. So it says nowadays kids are having kids and yet and have yet to live out their childhood. That I've heard a lot. People, it's so much to the point to where people are younger, and I had this issue with not an issue, but I had this connection with my son. I told my son, hey, you get away with a lot because I understand what you're doing. I did the same thing. I'm young enough and hip enough to kind of know what you're going through. So I'm not going to whip your ass the way that I got my ass whooped due to something that you did that I did as well. Hey, pimp, step your game up. You know what I'm saying? Be a little bit more slicker in what you're doing. I gave my son the answers on how not to get caught, and then his ass went and did the same thing and still got caught. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. And so then it came out with Veronica Joyner basically said, okay, but with that being said, some of them turn out to be mama's boys. They're talking about, people still being mama's boys because they're not killing that possum the way that Tanya want that possum to be killed. Right. And then Tracy Williams had said at one point, she was like, what about a child or children that have both parents? Tracy Williams saying, like, what about a child or children that have both parents in the home, but yet it's dysfunctional or unhealthy to live in, based off of some of the things that we were talking about. Somebody say they just need a man with a woe attached to it. I don't know if we covered that one.
Yeah, that's what you read about Tiana.
Okay, yeah. So let me scroll down. Clayton again said, currently we're in a huge lull from World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, and the major civil rights movement of the MLK days, where all of the people involved were very tough and willing to make the sacrifices required to make things better. So I guess I don't want to stop and just, well, I am stopping because that's what the hell I'm doing. But like, when I hear that, and we talk, and because I posted a video, I believe today, that the little sweet old lady who was like, "Hey, good morning, sugar. I just want to bless everybody and tell you that you're awesome. Somebody thinking about you. Somebody's gonna pray for you." I feel, this is just me, and I understand that times have changed. I feel that we are missing some of the historical figures that help make us better. You had the Madeas and the Big Mamas that got on your ass, and then you had the sweet aunties that was like, sugar, baby, and this, that, and the other. And that balance, I feel like it was a balance that kind of helped shape and push people forward. I know the times are not the same, right? I know that they're not the same, but are we missing something?
Yeah.
And that's open for discussion.
Yeah,
it's definitely missing. What are you saying, Rick?
Exactly what you just said. That shared structure is missing.
Right.
It takes a village.
And since we're talking about being soft, at this point, nowadays, men and women are too fucking soft for that kind of truth. Going through shit. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with shit. Manning and womaning the fuck up. No one wants to deal with that shit, but they want to deal with other people's household in turn. But that's a whole nother subject. You understand? So carry on.
I'll say this. I ain't gonna stir the pot anymore. If all hearts and minds are clear, because y'all know I'll throw something in the fire real quick. It's getting late. I'll just say this. At the end of the day, I stirred the pot tonight with you all But I had to mature also. I had to mature away from the outside image into the inside man of who I was dealing with. Someone who would be willing to, they know I don't like to kill animals, but to shoo away the possum's mean as hell. So to shoo away the possum and to carry on. I can't deal with a guy anymore who's like, oh, I can't come over there because you're out. Because I need someone who's going to support.
Now hold on, because you said you can't deal with a guy that said he can't come over there because you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't.
No, I'm talking about the weak ones, the soft ones that had these little flimsy excuses because they didn't want to do anything.
Where you at? You in Atlanta? Who the hell you dealing with?
But I'm saying this was when I was younger.
Take your back to Texas.
They didn't do what? They wouldn't come over because of an animal?
Yeah,
they would have an excuse. And that's when I had to realize that I was dealing with the wrong person, that it was me. I had to mature.
At young age, what I would have done? I'd have called another man.
So you wouldn't. Y'all think she's making up a random ass scenario?
Huh?
Wait, hold on.
Y'all thinking she making up a random ass scenario? Somebody didn't come over there and make goddamn possum out of you. Hold on. So
hold
on. So Clayton Fairclough, Tracy Williams, and damn, who was it? The Tiana, is it Tiana McCoy? Hey, y'all gotta check that chat, man. That chat live, bro.
The chat live. And Corey said that the possum is a metaphor for something else.
See, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes. Well, you know what? I do remember. I knew that I had a guy who was a really good friend when he came over to my house, and we could not open up the chute of the fireplace, and he sat down on the floor and made it a project to get all that done. I said, that's a real dude there.
That's the one.
That's a real dude. Yes. So if you show some concern, if you show the concern, even if you can't make it work, you just show the concern to try to do it. That's what I mean. I have no more room in my life anymore for the soft man who actually doesn't want to try to help with anything, because I'm in the kitchen cooking and doing whatever I need to do because I know how to be domestic and all that too. So
we clean windows here. We clean windows.
No, we don't clean no windows. Get them.
So for all the Candyland viewers, if your ass is in ATL and you know how to kill a possum, holla at
holla.
Good girl, girl.
I like Tanya with a whole bunch of things. Hey, so man, that possum dead. Keep it moving.
They scared all the hell out of me.
You're gonna have somebody knock on your door holding a possum and ask you if that was it.
And I would go crazy. I would go crazy.
Tiana McCoy, please explain your comment. Please.
All right, that's gonna be our next. That's gonna be our next.
What are we licking? What are we licking?
Licking what?
Before we go to break,
I
want to know what is Tiana.
Tiana, calling Tiana to the stage.
What is Tiana?
You like the way
she say the 1 out of 1,000. And then
what is the one? What do you mean?
She say 1 out of 1,000. And then Tracy Williams said, "Looks fade. It's what's on the inside."
I know. That's what happened to me, Tracy. That's what happened to me. I had to realize.
We still want to know what you're licking, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tracy must be listening to Music Soul Child. Lately it's been.
Keep it 100 with you. I got it.
Wondering. Yeah, but go ahead though, man. I'm just being silly, man. But apparently, man, look,
Mark is freezing.
The chat been going live, man. I'm just trying to tell you.
The chat is on.
Tiana says I like to lick all kinds of things. Well, go ahead then. I like then.
Hey. Hello.
No, not today.
Pastor. Hello, Pastor. Hello.
Hey, Pastor. Can I talk to Tiana's mama real quick?
I know, right? Tiana, thank you also for tuning into the Soul Spotlight the other day. I have to say, especially thank you to Tiana for tuning in the Soul Spotlight the other day. I was actually trying to get to her before I got off the show, but thank you for tuning in. Y'all, we're going to hit this commercial real quick, and we'll be back to talk again in this here show. So y'all hold tight. And welcome back. Well, you know what, y'all? We've had a very spirited show tonight. It's been off the chain. We started off real slow because I was going through dog stuff over here, dog demanding that I change his dinner, and all kinds of stuff happening over here.
You technical and hey, that's gonna be my word. Hey, that's gonna be my word for the rest of the week. It's possum.
Possum. You know what? Have y'all seen it? This is sad to say, but we used to have this family joke, but it was a bad joke because one time we were going down the street and there's a possum and he had met his demise, and there was a head there, and the face was like. So the family would always just do that. The family just go. It was just crazy. We wouldn't say anything to one another. We just go.
I'm going to work next week, and I'm telling everybody. You ain't hard, you ain't soft, you a possum. That's it. That's gonna be my phrase all week. Straight up.
Well, and speaking of which,
Corey, the dog is a Chihuahua. No, the dogs don't do possums.
They're the same size.
The Chihuahua is a ball.
Corey said, "Where the dog?" Oh, you know what?
Corey knows.
I know he knows.
Hey,
he knows. Okay, well, I want to see what y'all got going on coming up this week. I can just say what's happening in the next week before we all meet again. So we're gonna start with you, Shannon, Element Rose. What you have coming up this week before we all meet again?
So this next week, I'm not sure, but I know on the 25th I have an art show, so that's what I'm getting ready for. I've got it's a kinky art show. So I'm doing some different paintings. And yes, before you ask, that is my collar and leash. Thank you for asking.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have that, and I have a couple other things I'm gonna do, and then I have one that I'm doing live while I'm there. And so that's the first erotic art show. And then I have another showcase in August through September that I'm gonna do a nasty mouth for. I don't know how else to say that and it not be more graphic. And I started my Fiverr, so I've got to get stuff up on that. And, you know, there's always masked element on the side. And then, you know, I'm open for freelance stuff with graphic design and stuff like that as always. You know, out here trying to decide if I want to go back to corporate or not. I'm still looking for jobs and stuff like that. So hopefully next week I won't be so sleep deprived, though. That's my goal for next week. How about that?
All right, then. Thank you, Miss Shannon. Thank you, Miss Shannon. She said, I don't even say please no more. Thank you, Miss Shannon. All right, Rick Monster, what you got going on coming up? Rick.
Actually, I have some things lined up. I believe that, I was just invited to share some of my artwork in August the 6th in Irving. I'm still awaiting additional details, so that's going on. You know, finishing like a couple of pieces. Again, you guys can tend to the website. I can put it in the link in the chat as well. Rick West Art, Saatchi Art. I'll give you those details specifically, but still breathing, still able, and still willing. Thank you guys for showing up too, by the way. I really appreciate it on behalf of the class. Y'all make this work. Y'all really have to make this work.
All right. All right. Thank you, Rick. Bernard, what you got coming up this week?
I'm looking to get invested in the Turo platform where you can like buy cars and rent them out. So I'm looking to purchase maybe a couple of cars in the next couple of weeks, and that's one of my new ventures as well. I'm still working on putting up the many stories regarding the Tales of Nubia or the children's stories. Based on African proverbs, and also putting the word out about our African heritage via the nonprofit I work with called Heru, where we talk about all African experiences in the diaspora over the last millennium or farther. So I'm very active, very busy.
All
But no,
right.
boy, you. What state are you in?
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
All right. Turn them loose. Mike, what you got going on?
Look at that,
What's
Joe.
going on, everybody? It's your boy Michael Lee, aka Mr. Turn 'em Loose, Mr. E. It is what it is. But look here, I'm just gonna tell y'all, man, straight up here. How many of y'all got dance faces? Anybody y'all got dance faces? I know y'all got
It's
dance
nasty.
faces.
Dance faces?
It's nasty,
Yeah,
baby.
everybody got dance faces. Some of y'all ball y'all damn lips up.
Yeah.
Right? Some of y'all
All
stick your
that.
tongues out. Right? Y'all do all that extra shit. See, everybody got them dance faces. So it's just something about music that make you dance and make you move and make you groove. But
Your face part.
Your face for everything else, right? So y'all might be looking crazy as hell, and people be looking at y'all and trying to look at y'all, you know what I mean? Be like, what the hell is going on? Y'all try to squat down and drop, act like you got mega knees. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no goddamn mega knees.
You got mega knees in this house.
Stand your ass up. You know what I'm saying? Stand your ass up. If you old ass men thinking they got reggae hips, no, you ain't winding shit like you thought you was supposed to. Sit your ass down somewhere. You know what I mean? So all I'm gonna say is, man, I'm looking at wrapping up my career in the military, man, and I plan on venturing into some other venues. But I really enjoyed tonight's show. Thank y'all for participating, man. I really appreciate it. So hopefully some good things come here in the future. But man, peace, love, and soul. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, stay focused, grind hard, and keep on pushing whatever it is you're doing. Holla at your boy, Mr. E. Wee on Snapchat, Mr. Turn 'em Loose on Instagram, and Mr. Turn 'em Loose on TikTok. You gonna see me, baby. Holla at your boy.
All right. So Mike coming down off a week in Jamaica, so he is all fresh and ready. The rest of us, we like this.
Y'all better hold it down.
I know that's right. Miss Bola, what you got going on?
This week is, of course, I'm a coach, a life coach, and I specialize in inner healing and energy cleaning. So I help women to stop feeling overwhelmed. And I help them unmask their identity, transform their relationships, and align the mindset. So if you are in that state and you want to go from A to B or C and you don't know how to do it, you need help, you need accountability, give me a call. My number's on here, and I'm booked that discovery call. And also, I've got my nonprofit. I've got to get that, the whole business plan written. I'm getting that all done professionally. And Mike, who's that?
That's my cousin, man. That's my cousin.
He just closed it up.
That's my cousin, man. That's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? He's part of the whole Turn 'em Loose program.
I see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I see him. He said, "Look at me! Look at me! Look at me!"
Miss Bola, yes, I'm looking, Miss Bola. I see you, baby.
You see me? All right now.
I hear you. More than anything, I've been listening.
You've been listening.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you, cousin, for popping in. Also, thank you, Miss Bola. But you know what? Y'all know how I do. I just go ahead and I go ahead and play my
Run it, huh?
social media. You know how I do. Let me go and run this real quick. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. But y'all were hearing, but I was hearing some double.
Some feedback.
Yeah, I was hearing some feedback over there. And I know who's usually the culprit. The culprit whenever that happens.
What's going on, Rick?
Yeah, it's usually Rick.
Never was. Hi, I was trying to give you a shout out. I had my I was trying to give you a shout out.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Well, you know, as far as me is concerned, you know, of course, that was my social media just now. You saw the commercials, Tandyland, tandyland.com, TANDILAND.com. We are a film and video production company. A lot going on, a lot coming up really soon. We're going to have Fred Alexander from the original Lakeside is coming on really soon, either in the next couple weeks here. And we have a lot more people coming through. It's a secret right now who's coming through. So they're going to be in the Soul Spotlight or coming here to the living room. We have a lot coming your way. It's just really starting to heat up and really rev up here on IMITATES Live. You know, whether you're looking at the Soul Spotlight during the week or you're looking at the living room here on Friday night, we are really heating it up, y'all. And so tell everybody out there, like and subscribe to tune in to our IMITATES Live with us. I thank you all for tuning in, but I thank you all for the living room panelists for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You make this possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. For real.
Hey, look here, man. It's a lot to go on. From Miss, who is it? I be wanting to say Tandy Land, Tandy Girl. I be wanting to say all kind of Tandy shit.
Tandy Computer.
Appreciate everything you've done to provide this platform for us to come on here and actually.
Thank you.
It's been live, man. That chat was going off, you know, and everybody.
The chat was live. That was off the chain. That was off the chain. And we really appreciate all you chatters out there tonight. We really appreciate you tuning into the show. We are here every Friday night. The show, I say 9 p.m., but the show actually starts at 9:10 p.m. That's a secret that I should have never told the panelists. I should have never told the panelists that because they're going to show up late. Well, I tell you what, you show up at 9:10, we start at 9:20. I would start putting in 9:20 p.m., but we need that little flex time in there. But the show is here every Friday night, so make sure that you all tune in as the chatters out there. We have really thoroughly enjoyed you being here tonight. Again, I've enjoyed the panelists here tonight. A lot coming up for our IMITATES Live, you know. So again, thank you all in-house. Thank you all out there in our public audience. You all have a beautiful week. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is our IMITATES Live. That's the living room panelists, and we will see you next time here on Art Imitates Live. Y'all come and clap it down, man. While I found my credits. See y'all.